Hello and welcome to Teletraan Tapes, a monthly podcast devoted to covering Skybound's ongoing Transformers series and occasionally bits and pieces of the other Energon Universe titles like Void Rivals and G.I. Joe. I am this week's host, Moonbase3, and I am joined, as always, by my co-hosts Carl from Carl's Collection and Swizz Prime. Delta will not be joining us this month, which is unfortunate because I think, just definitely looking forward to hearing what his thoughts are, but we're all looking forward to when he can jump back in with us in the future, discuss this issue and future issues as well. But speaking of this issue, we're going to be talking about Transformers number 28. This time around. Issue 28 came out on January 14th, 2026. Before we go any further, I should probably say that we are going to be discussing this issue at length and in depth, so this is your spoiler warning. We're really going to sink our teeth into this issue.
Really gonna drink it all up.
Oh yeah,
Take it all in.
There's
we're starving to talk about this issue,
and there's a lot to chew on with this one. So yeah, real tasty bits in here. So
tasty morsels.
Yes, but we'll get to all of that in due course. Before we start, we'll take a look at the preview solicit, which reads, Mirage and Bulkhead are back in action. I apologize to everyone for reading this next line. I feel extremely lame. I don't know why they put it in here, but get ready for awesome.
All right.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Everybody ready for awesome?
All of the issue that Mirage and Bulkhead get up to, I cannot wait to see. I was so pumped.
The solicit continues, and Arcee makes a stunning decision in all caps that will shock every Transformers fan. So right out of the gate, guys, my first question is, were you guys shocked by this issue?
Certainly not by anything that Arcee did. I was not shocked by that. Some things were certainly telegraphed, but the ending was kind of shocking. I would say that. I was also a little maybe not so shocking that, like I said, the solicit was completely full of lies, misdirection.
Yeah, we're like, same with the last issue too, right? And it's
I mean, I get it. I get why they do that. Because it can't just always be Autobots and Decepticons doing their thing. It has to be
it out for the 100th time.
So I get it. And it kind of doesn't, it's not do the solicits really do anything? Do they really serve any purpose? And I because you're most likely gonna pick this comic up, but I don't know that if they were to say the things that were actually happening in this issue, is that gonna sell it any more than what they wrote? So the only thing it does is serve to spoil some things. So I don't mind it so much. I don't get hung up on it, but it is kind of humorous, what they decide, what level of BS can we write this month in the solicit. So
yeah, I'm not mad at it either. I do think it's humorous, like you said. It is because I think you raised a great point, because they're not gonna tell you everything. What would be the point? Of course they're gonna try to get your head spinning in one direction and then just subvert your expectations when you actually open the book. I feel like that's kind of the point of it, until the point you realize that they are kind of pointless, and then you just are kind of like, okay, well, I read it, we'll see if it actually happens, we'll see what actually happens. But yeah, anyway, Swizz, were you shocked?
I'll say yes, not just for the ending. I was just I was shocked that this was a pretty decent issue.
I was gonna say you were shocked that you liked it.
Yeah, I was shocked that I
Fired.
liked it. Yeah.
I was like,
Oh, man.
I'll put those words in your mouth.
Yeah.
You're dancing around it.
Yep.
Oh, man. Yeah, it's kind of similar, both to the thing that Swiss says that I won't repeat and attach my name to, but and also like what.
To be fair, not to cut you off, I not to leave Swizz hanging there. I was also surprised by like some of the things I got. Oh, actually, I overall enjoyed this more than a previous issue. So you're not alone, Swizz. I
No.
got your back, buddy. I'll call you
Yeah.
out, but I also got your back.
Yeah.
No,
We're united.
100%. Yeah,
Yeah.
like for sure. And like you said, Carl, I was not necessarily shocked by anything that Arcee, any stunning decision that she made. But
all page and a half of the thing she was doing.
right, exactly.
So,
But I think that there were some surprising things in here, even beyond just kind of the last couple of pages. We'll get into that as we get into the issue itself. And so, without further ado, what do you say we dig in on this one, fellas?
yummy.
Chow time. If you know, you know, and if you don't know, you will know soon. Also, just real quick, I don't know the course that the conversation is going to take. We usually only talk about Transformers here, but just in case, I'm going to throw a spoiler warning up for G.I. Joe number 17 because there's a big
good call.
twist in there that might come up. I don't know. Like I said,
Even
I
I
can't
know
see
the
future.
twist.
Hey,
Yay.
we
Welcome
got
to
him,
the club,
everybody.
buddy.
We
Yay.
got him.
Finally.
He's reading G.I. Joe.
He was so down on Transformers. He was like, I guess I'll read something else.
I need something else to read.
Sorry, buddy.
Well, I'm looking forward to seeing if maybe Kirkman's fortunes have reversed with this issue. So we'll get to that at the end. So we kick this issue off basically right where we started at the end of what was that, issue 26?
I think so.
So,
yeah.
If you remember that final page, Megatron just kind of collapsed and looked like he was in some kind of a trance or something with glowing purple eyes. With issue 28, we pick up within the Nemesis, and Megatron is just going nuts. The Constructicons are trying to get a hold on him before he damages everything around him. Megatron basically calling back to what little we know of his past so far in terms of being captured by Desimir and his unknown master. And he says, "Release me, Desimir. I've had enough of your trials." To which Rumble humorously replies, "What's a Desimir?" Eventually, Megatron just kind of comes out of it, swiftly just tries to act like nothing happened. And it's just in time for Skywarp and the Combaticons to show up with their Energon cubes, which we saw them raiding a dam last issue. Is that right? Was it a dam?
Yep.
I think so.
Yeah.
We get some Skywarp. Interestingly enough, Skywarp divulges that Soundwave is captured by the Autobots and that the Autobots foolishly repaired him, but he notably leaves out anything about Thundercracker, which I think is interesting. As he says that Soundwave remains in the Autobots' captivity, we get this great panel of Ravage and Laserbeak with their jaws just like hitting the floor. Something about that panel, I just love it. It just seems like so humorous to me.
Pets getting excited when they hear their master's name. And it's like,
Right.
What?
Dad!
Hey! He's alive.
Megatron basically says that we're gonna go. It's time for a little jailbreak. We're gonna go break Soundwave out, and he orders the Decepticons to prepare for an attack at once. And Scrapper and Rumble exchange a nervous glance, or at least I assume it's nervous on the part of Scrapper. Can't really see his face, but you can see Rumble. He looks a little distressed. So, this opening segment, I would love to hear your guys' thoughts. And why don't we start with Swizz?
Yeah, so okay, so a couple of things here. I do love how it shows how just strong Megatron is, as like literally it takes all of the Decepticons and the ship to like try and hold him down. I think that does a good job of like showing just how strong he is. I mean, the entire Constructicons are just struggling, and then you got poor Rumble just trying to hang on. And I love how he's just like, unhand me up one, like, get off me. Um, and with what you said about Skywarp and Thundercracker, Skywarp, I don't know, man. Like Skywarp is just he's not a good dude. He's not a good guy, and I just find it very interesting, like you said, that he didn't mention anything about Thundercracker, and Megatron didn't even ask about Thundercracker either. But I also love how and we'll talk more about this later in this issue, obviously, with all the puns we made. Um, Megatron's not there. Like he is not all there right now, and I feel like a lot of people are not talking about that enough, and I think that's why he does what he does at the end of the issue. I just don't think he's all there in the head right now, and I think that's why Rumble and Scrapper are looking at each other kinda like, "Dude, what?" Like, "Wait a minute, they're like, wait a minute, this guy was just screaming in pain, attacking all of us, and we're trying to help him hold him down, and now he wants to go on an attack." And now, like, they have, like, these faux Energon cubes that the Combaticons got last issue that aren't gonna last, too long. It's, it's not a good time to be a Decepticon. It's just Decepticon stocks are at an all-time low, and I couldn't be happier. So yeah, that's my thoughts.
It's actually what's kind of interesting about that, and I just kind of made the connection now when you were talking, Swizz, was this is like Optimus in the first, the first arc when he was having his like his breaks, and then the Autobots are
Yeah.
like, hey, what's up with this guy? Like what? So, but because then Optimus would like
Oh,
snap out of
yeah.
it, and then he'd be like, hey, we got to go save the humans, and they're like, "Hey, wait a second! Like, why don't we go back to the Teletran, the Ark, and like let's get you taken care of." And that's kind of like what we're going through here with the Decepticons and Megatron. So that's kind of cool obviously there's a bigger story being told here, and Kirkman alludes to it in the letters column back in the back of the issue, is that the story there's a bigger story being told with what Megatron is going through, and we kind of knew like this was going to be addressed at some point in time, and I'm also further convinced that issue 19 was I don't want to say it wasn't written by Daniel Warren Johnson, but I feel like the ideas addressed in that were like a Kirkman edict. I think it was him saying like, "Hey, we need to have this shadowy, master figure over Megatron, and then go," because that's why it's why it felt out of place when we read it issue 19, and that was like one of my biggest gripes of it at the time. But now you really see like, okay, well, that this is obviously being addressed now and will continue to be addressed because they name drop Desimir. He has his break, his eyes turn purple, so you kind of like you're just reminded that that is a plot thread, that like, hey, we did this, and we're going to address it here. So yeah, I think Swizz, you're right, like as far as why Megatron may be out of character, it has to do with something that's going on. So I'm that makes sense, and it does. Like I said, Kirkman, when he mentions in the letters column, it says like, just write it out. Let us tell this story. It's just we're just kind of getting started with this
Let
Megatron
us
story.
cook.
So yeah. So it's like, okay, reading that part in the letters column was reassuring, because like I said, the one of the gripes we've had thus far is like some of the characterizations were a little off from what we were used to, and maybe that's part of it here. So but yeah, the overall the sequence, I think it's fine. It's good. I think it is very interesting that like you both mentioned Skywarp not mentioning Thundercracker, because maybe he's not necessarily completely over Thundercracker.
Maybe he's holding out
Or-
hope. Like, once like
yeah,
all the Decepticons come up, they're like, "Hey, man, like we're all here. You want to join us again?" Like,
yeah,
I think he's holding out hope.
yeah. I think that's a good point. Like he's dedicated to the cause, but he's just as like, I don't want to throw him under the bus right now.
Yep. Yep.
And then we'll see where he's at once we go back and get Soundwave, and then we'll see where his head's at. So, um,
Once he comes face to face with Megatron.
Right. And then
Who has
Skywarp
energon all over his
sees
face.
yeah, what? And then once Skywarp sees Thundercracker's new wing adornment, so I don't see how that goes over.
Oof. Dude, I hope we
Um,
see that next issue, man.
yeah.
Oof.
I think that's I'm sure that's I
Yes,
think
I
we
need
will.
that.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean I am glad they're picking up the Desimir plot thread, and yeah, I think it's a good opening sequence. Because Megatron is all over the place. So
I was gonna ask real quick before we move on, because I wasn't there for that episode. Who do you guys think Desimir's master is? Just real quick. Just a spitball. Who do you guys think it is?
eh, I at first I was like, is it Unicron? But like
Okay.
I don't know. I mean, that seems like way too early to probably bring that into things. But I have no real reason other than just saying like, what would be a cool bigger bad, and that's like where my brain goes first. It's not super creative, but that's
Yeah,
I
I've
mean,
seen
it kind
people
of
say
fits
Unicron
that.
as well.
Like,
yeah, but it
it
seems kind
fits
of
that
obvious.
role,
So I
right?
don't. Yeah. So I don't know if that's
I'm holding
I
out
don't know.
hope it's the Fallen
That would
Yeah.
yeah.
or Liege Maximo. I feel like it's a little bit too early for Unicron.
I mean, yeah, no, I agree with you. I think it's too early for Unicron. I think that like what was being built up to in Void Rivals.
Yeah, that's a good
I
point.
feel like we were meant to think it was Unicron. I think they know, right? They know that that's probably the first place that our
Right.
minds are going to go,
Yeah.
and so I think that it's probably not going to be Unicron.
Yeah.
But that being said, I really have no idea. Like, if it was the Fallen or Liege Maximo, that would really kind of make sense because it ties in with you know, some
And they
stuff
have
that's
referenced
going
the
on
primes. Yeah.
store
Yeah.
shelves right now.
Yeah.
Oh, true. Wait.
Synergy.
Um,
Yeah.
Oh, true.
But
but yeah, I really don't know, to be honest. And yeah, I part of me is kind of like it would be really cool if it was like an original character.
Yeah, I
yeah.
mean, like we saw that with Desimir, Mechanicore, So yeah,
And the other thing is like we might not even this might be it for I think this plot thread. We might not revisit it for another 15 issues. Like who knows? It might be because Optimus was having his breaks and it was like what from issue 4 to issue. When did
that's a
when
good
did he get the arm?
point.
Like so that took like 20 issues to fully resolve what was going on there.
Right.
Um, so this could just be the first bit of Megatron having episodic snaps with no explanation, just knowing that it's seeing that it's happening and mirroring what Optimus went through. So, yeah, I don't know, but
True. And along those same lines, like this whole thing, this whole event kind of raises a lot of questions in terms of when did this start, right? Like like is this something that he's gone through before? Does he have these episodes before? Or is like if not, then what is it that has caused this to happen? Is it because he reattached his arm for some reason, like some kind of commingling with Optimus? I don't know. I'm just kind of spitballing here. But I'm
yeah,
just, thinking of like what recently could have happened. Um,
I mean that would
I
make
don't
sense because if part of the like having the I think it's like Starscream's gone too, so or he's like offline, and that was he was like who wielded Megatron. So is that part of what's happening?
like
Because
he needs
Starscream, he
somebody,
yeah, like he no longer
somebody to
has
wield
a
him.
right, like
He needs
because
a
there
He
was
needs
host.
somebody to
that
hold him.
Yeah,
but there
this
was
guy's a
that like
baby.
that kind of symbiotic relationship in like the master and then who's being controlled. So maybe that's part of it. Maybe who knows? But
Yeah.
Okay, wait. I have to ask this real quick. Okay. All right.
yeah,
This is crackpot theory. Okay, so just hear me
bring it
out.
on. That's you're in safe company
Um,
for that.
are we sure it was Megatron doing all the stuff that was happening to Optimus? Like, was that ever like concrete proof that it was Megatron infecting him, and not
No,
not
that
the
It
thing
was
is
that's
not.
inside
not a
Megatron's
crackpot
chest?
theory at all.
Could
Right.
potentially be
'Cause, like,
genius.
we know that
Yes.
the primes, like the Matrix, and we saw the Hall of the Primes, all that was getting infected, and like we're all like, "Oh, it's Megatron. Megatron's doing it." But like it was never confirmed, and like
Nope.
maybe like there's something building up here because like what if it is like the other primes? Like what if it is like Liege Maximo or Megatronus or what could be Unicron. I mean, all three of those guys are linked somehow to the primes or the Matrix. So like maybe it wasn't Megatron. Maybe this is like some crazy buildup in that like Desimir's master wants something like the fact that Megatron's getting punished by Desimir is because he wants Optimus again. Like that, whatever connection that was, whatever that poison was, it was
Like go
something
after
to a
that,
greater goal.
or
Yeah.
go get the Matrix or something because he was trying to
Yeah.
it was trying to maybe corrupt the
Oh
Matrix,
my
and it's like, hey,
god.
because it's
I
like
don't need
dark
love where
sleep.
Matrix,
I
you
need
guys are
Matrix,
going with
answers.
this.
yeah, like
This is
the yin
great.
and yang of what was happening there. So yeah,
Yeah.
because it's like a dark Matrix item. So
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Swizz,
Wow.
I don't know, man. You may have
That's
just
pretty good, Swizz.
yeah.
It's
I
really
don't know,
good.
guys. This may be crazy. And then drops like
Yeah, the most
an
like
amazing,
like pretty much. I mean, that's it for me. Like if it's not that, then I'm going to be disappointed.
yeah.
Yeah. Oh man.
You
No,
just whenever
Megatron bad.
Whenever Kirkman hears this, he's like, "Are you kidding me?" Like, so
No. Kirk was like, "Wait, write that down. Write that down." I was.
yeah.
Yeah.
They're like, "Wait, I just had a Megatron's bad. He's evil." No, write that down. That sounds better.
This kid is cooking. So yeah, I don't know. Yeah, speak up, man. Keep those theories coming.
Yes.
Yeah, for sure. So the next segment, we just like jump straight into apparently this battle sequence. This full page of Arcee fending off a bunch of arms and legs, and lasers are firing everywhere. And over this, we hear some, not necessarily narration, but some dialogue that is not occurring within the scene that we are looking at. It's Ultra Magnus and Optimus Prime talking to each other. And they're asking if Arcee can hear them and talking about how she is on her journey to become a Magnus, and she is communing with great warriors of the past, which takes the form, apparently, to Arcee's chagrin, of this massive battle in this kind of, I don't know, nether uh, mind's eye state, whatever kind of thing. We don't get too much with that. In fact, that's all we get really. So we don't really know exactly what her journey to becoming Magnus
It's such
is.
a long journey. It takes all of 3 seconds.
Yeah.
Well, like our human minds can't comprehend the
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
ballooning that's going
Yeah.
It's
on.
just it's
So
moving
It's
so quickly.
actually
The processing power
exactly.
is
correct.
insane.
Correct.
Yep.
Correct. It has to be what it is.
So while we don't get the rest of RC's journey, we actually cut to something that, I mean, I feel personally, I'd be interested to hear what you guys think, but I feel like this is kind of the more important uh, part of this section, and it's this exchange between Optimus and Magnus, and it's a quiet kind of little moment for both of them, and it's really accentuated by uh, how well I think Mora has like rendered this entire scene, but like the arc in the background. You've got the screens that are like bringing in light, and the table thing that RC is laying on, as well as all of the glowing wires that are flowing from Ultra Magnus' chest into RC. But there's a lot of shadow in this as well, which kind of just gives it a very like kind of quiet, I almost want to say like introspective and like moody kind of atmosphere to the whole thing. And it, I think, really fits this discussion, which is basically Optimus Prime kind of, just kind of feeling things out with Magnus a little bit, where it's like, you sure you sure that this is really what you want to do? I don't know if you're, you know, it's not really something that happens. Optimus explains that Magnus is a title that is traditionally carried for life, so we're getting a little bit of lore about the title of Magnus. And he also says that it's unusual for one to simply step down. One does not simply go to Mordor, pause
Yeah,
included.
yeah, yeah.
But Magnus is, he's sure. He says that he's rarely been this sure about anything, and he fully believes that Arcee is going to be a much better Magnus. This is kind of the gentle opening of something that we're going to come back to in this issue, which is this discussion between Optimus and Ultra Magnus about Magnus's decision to step down. Um, so yeah, what do you guys? This we're really only talking about 2 pages here. But what do you guys think about everything that we have seen here and all the stuff that we learned in these 2 pages and just basically what Kirkman is doing with the characters of Optimus and Ultra Magnus here? Carl, do you want to start us off?
Yeah. I so the first thing I'll say is in regards to Magnus, I like that. So in the Daniel Warren Johnson run, there was Magnus was going through some stuff, right? And his PTSD, and then he had that rallying moment in issue 23 where he's like, look, the whole like for Prime where he rallies the Autobots, and then I thought that was going to be like, okay, that's him back to form, right?
I thought
And
that as
and
well. Yeah.
yeah, and I thought like, okay, that's a cool arc. But that also felt a little rushed, because I feel like there was more there to mine as far as his doubts and um, for as broken as he was, it seemed kind of quick for him to come back from that. So I like that we got this to show that no, he's still dealing with the effects of that, and I like that. I think that there's things that could be done with the character that uh, I think are going to be interesting. And I don't know what they're going to be. I don't really have a huge idea. I mean, I personally would like to see him maybe head back to Cybertron. I think there's some story threads that could be really interesting for him there, and really could maybe have a place in the story, especially if RC kind of assumes his role here on Earth. Um, but I do. I like this. I like the scene. I like the shadows. It does. It's more like like a somber, introspective moment with Magnus. Is like, no, this is. I appreciate Prime, but like I'm making the right call here. I feel it. I feel like this is the right thing for me, and I have faith in RC. He's seen what she's capable of, so I think that's cool. I do wish we would have maybe gotten more of the RC. Uh, Whatever it is, like whatever this process is to transfer her to go through this process of becoming a Magnus, I think that's interesting. I think like you could spend a little more time diving into that, and I would want to see that. I want to because I see this splash page, which I really like. I really like. I think to kind of touch on what Mora is doing. You mentioned the scene with them in the arc there, but like I really like what Mora is how he's kind of like settling into the assignment on the book. So yeah, it's only 6 issues, but I really think that he's getting a better feel for what's going on. So yeah, and then I think that splash page kind of reminds me of this is the first time where I truly feel like this feels like part of the book we've been reading already. Because that style of that splash page kind of reminds me of like the Jason Howard. There's a couple issues that we had that more like
Yeah.
kind of cartoony approach, which I like. So yeah, I like that kind of a little bit of cohesive. Just it feels like the book that we're familiar with. So yeah, I like where they're going. I like that Prime is kind of touching base with Magnus here and saying, you've still is that does he address that yet, or is that later on? Is he talking to him? Yeah, okay, that's later on. I was gonna say like what mentioned because this conversation continues in like 5 or 6 pages. So, but yeah, for what this part is, focusing on RC, I like it. I'm interested to see how RC handles the new role. But yeah,
Yeah, no, that's true. That's a good point. I did kind of neglect how dynamic and like energetic that page with RC is, and I do think that the color work also helps a lot. I think the color work is in it. I agree with everything you said. I do think that Mora is getting better or I didn't say getting better. He's always been good,
Yeah.
but he's getting more um, in terms like his artwork is connecting with me more the further into the series we get. But I also think that this is more a return to form with the color work as well.
I agree.
Uh,
I
I
think
think there's
Spicer did a
some
great job here.
yeah, there's some great
Well,
color work here and beyond. But
Yep.
yeah, for sure.
and I'd have to go back and look. I mean, this may just me having missed it, but like some of the ink splatter stuff that's on here, like down in the corner by her foot, kind of smashing the that more reminds me of like the Jorge Corona kind of
For
ink
sure.
splatter approach. So that it just makes it feel familiar, and I like that.
Swizz, what do you think about this?
Well, um, I have a problem with this sequence, and I'm probably gonna sound like a villain here. So I think this is really cool. I love what's happening here. Why? Like, why couldn't we get more of this? The
Yeah,
whole communing part. Like it. This is so frustrating to me because like with what's about to happen minus one page, there's a sequence that happens that honestly could be done with really one, maybe two pages that could have easily gone to RC's whole quote unquote commuting and seeing fighting the previous warriors and all that. I think this is a huge waste. And especially with what we get, not to say I don't hate the decision that's made,
yeah,
but like what are we doing, man? Because this reminds me of like Thundercracker. It's like boom, done. Like you see all that build up, the nice natural build up, and then boom, done. He's an Autobot, and it's like, huh, okay. And it's what's happening here. It's like literally just last issue, this guy Magnus was like, "Hey, I want you to be the new Magnus," and Archie's like,
yeah. What that's
"I
what
don't know,"
I was
and
just gonna
then
say.
boom,
Was
we
that
just
last
jump into
issue,
it.
right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it was last issue. Like I literally just reread the last issue today for a short I was working on. I'm like, yeah, what's the progression's all over the place here. And it's really unfortunate that we only get one page of RC doing all this. I think it would have been so interesting to see like RC, go through like this. It's like I think of it like it's like a horde mode, like in a video game. Like it's like just endless waves of just previous Autobot warriors or just warriors in general just coming out of RC. I think that would have been so cool. Like how Megatron was going through those the trials. That's what I like to
yeah,
imagine this would happen with RC. Just these endless trials of just taking down these guys. So it's just unfortunate. And with Ultra Magnus and Optimus Prime, Optimus Prime is just trying his best to not say what he really wants to say, and he's having a hard time beating around the bush. He does not want Magnus to step down. Like you can clearly tell he does not want him to step down. But ultimately, he's not gonna, you know, well, later in the issue, he kind of puts his foot down. But he doesn't want Magnus to step down, and like with Magnus having this self doubt, I'm not a fan. I'm personally
yeah,
not a fan, and I agree with you, Carl. You talking about how you know, we kind of thought that whole character arc was being done. And like, I just want to preface and say, like, not me or Carl saying, like, oh, you get over PTSD like that, because that's not how
yeah.
that actually works. We
Right.
we
Yeah.
know that. We're aware. This is a comic book story. So like I was kind of hoping, and like I think we were all kind of hoping like Magnus would kind of be back to, being the really cool second in command, the city commander. Um it's just weird that he just suddenly wants to step down, and that we talked about this too with the new story arc and all that. Like there kind of seems to be some type of division with Optimus and Magnus with some choices that Prime's been making. You can tell Magnus is kind of like, that's I don't know, man, it's a little weird. We talked about that. The whole bringing other Decepticons online. We've said our piece. Let's not try and
Yeah.
retread there because
Yeah.
we all obviously hated that. But it's just I don't know, because I've seen some crazy theories of people saying like, "Oh, Magnus is gonna defect and all that."
No.
I don't think that's gonna happen. That's so
He
overblown.
he's just looking for his whatever his purpose is. He's lost it, and
He's
he's
soul
looking to
searching, or I
right.
guess spark
And
searching.
yeah, and we thought like maybe that was resolved, but it's not, and that's okay. It's just
Yes.
it's there will be a payoff then down the road, which will then hopefully be very very satisfying. Like not that it not that it not to like discredit Arcee's new role or the
Right, right,
importance
of
of
course.
Arcee or her abilities or anything like that. It's just, dude, I love Ultra Magnus. Like,
Yes, yes,
so
yep,
I want to see him in that kind of role where he is, the Ultra Magnus that we know. So,
exactly.
and I think we'll get there. I really do. It's just, it's going to be longer than we thought, maybe. So,
Yeah, and I just wish there was just more of a build-up to,
yeah.
RC becoming the new Magnus. It's so frustrating. Like, it just oh, dude.
Not to cut you off, sorry, but like
Right, no, no, yeah.
I just looked at I looked back at last issue, and you really only get a couple lines of dialogue of her saying, "Yeah, whatever you need of me, Magnus, like I'll do it." And but like I would kind of want to see more of her struggle or her journey, like or
Yep.
just more of
You
her
mean
input,
you want to see the stunning decision that will shock every
Right,
Transformers fan?
yeah, exactly. Especially if you're gonna put that in the not we obviously we just talked about it not needing to be exactly what it is, but if you're gonna put that and then not really give much of her the actual decision process, like you see it once it's done later on, and I don't know, like I just feel like there's some story there that would have been interesting to read. So
It would have been cool to just have more of this than what we see here in a little bit, where that
yeah,
takes 4 pages when it could have been done with 1 page.
what could you be referring to?
Yeah.
So
No, I agree with you guys. I think that for me, kind of the big draw of this whole sequence was the interaction between Optimus and Ultra Magnus, partially because it is something that comes up again in the issue, so it kind of feels like there's some kind of like some emotional heft to it, or some like nice character work that's being done here, and I feel like that's kind of been uh, in my opinion, it's been kind of few and far between so far since Kirkman took over the books. So I was really glad to see it. But all that stuff doesn't need to come at the expense of some more action oriented. Like Transformers is like an interesting brand because it's got a lot of different stuff that's kind of cobbled together, and like there's this whole like mysticism angle to it, and so I agree with you guys. I think that it was a missed opportunity to not like you could have had some nice like world building um, by having us kind of travel along with RC for more of that journey. Um,
yeah.
yeah, but
Like, will we get the end result would be the same? Yeah, it would, and
Yeah.
it's just basically, yeah, she's this role now, like, okay, and we'll see her, kinda, like, learn on the job, and that'll be fine. It's just there's a lot of story going on here, and it's hard to say, like, "Oh, but there's more. This could be even more," and then, if that was, if that sequence was drawn out, and then would we have been like, "Well, maybe that was too long on that. Maybe it didn't, this issue didn't really, who knows what we'd be saying if that sequence was a whole lot longer? I don't know. But just the way it's presented does feel rushed. So
yeah, grass is always greener, right?
yeah, I
You
know.
never know.
It's trying to be self-aware as like a reader. Like, if I was gonna do that, I'd do it this way. And I was like, shut up,
Right.
reader guy. Just enjoy your robots. Like, okay,
Listen,
like, you're right.
I
You're
can make
right.
a
You're
better
right.
story.
Yeah, right. Like I don't want to pretend that. It's just
Yeah.
I'm just so interested in what's going on. It's like, oh, I want to know more about that. Like, what is that process? So yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I would like to know more about that as well, but I guess we don't get to. We it's just not. I don't know
Not
unless
how it
she's gonna
works.
like
Yeah.
describe it like later. I don't know why she would. Like maybe if she's talking to Carly or something. I
Right,
don't
that's
know.
true, and have some, yeah, I mean, and yeah, you never know, like, and that's why it's so hard to judge it based on what is here and that these initial 2 pages, based on what could be coming. We don't know, like, and maybe, so, yeah, anyway.
The next page, we just get a one-page segment here, and this is Soundwave and Thundercracker interacting, presumably for the first time since Thundercracker uh, got those Autobot badges on his wings. And this is basically just Soundwave talking about how much of a disgrace Thundercracker is, mocking him. Maybe not mocking him, more like threatening him about how Megatron is just going to annihilate him.
My dad's gonna beat up your dad.
Exactly.
That's
Yeah.
what this sounds like.
And Thundercracker comes back. I'll just read what he says. There will first he starts, of course, with the ultimate Kirkman icebreaker. ... And then
How I
he
open
says,
every conversation I
yeah,
have.
me
I
too.
just
Me too.
pause. Yeah.
There will be a time, Soundwave, when you are told to do something you think is cruel or unnecessary, or something bad will happen to someone you care about, and you will see how callous and hateful the Decepticons really are. And this causes Soundwave to reflect back when Ravage was damaged. And then Thundercracker continues, maybe then you'll understand my actions, or maybe you still won't, but then you'll know who you truly are. The book wants us to think that this was a mic drop moment, because Soundwave is holding his head in shame. I have some. This is probably the one section of the book that just kind of left me a little cold and didn't really do too much for me. Which I'll get into that later. I don't want to poison the well or anything. So, uh, Swizz, what did you think of this little exchange?
I don't know. To be honest, I really did just take it how like I jokingly said, like, dude, just wait till my dad's gonna show up. He's gonna beat up your dad. Like that's how I really take this. Like, I haven't. Okay, so first of all, I've said I don't really like Soundwave in this new story arc. I don't like how he's being portrayed. There's not a whole lot of nuance with him, but I feel like we're starting to get more of that here, at least hopefully, especially with what happens. Um, but Thundercracker, he just kinda just, telling Soundwave how he sees it with everything that's happened, Thundercracker and Skywarp, you know, Megatron, and it's a lot of foreshadowing. I don't know, I guess I kinda did take it as like a mic drop moment because this is just here as just to show with what happens in this issue. That's all I can really take it for. Maybe you guys can.
Maybe I'm just kind of like, how I don't know about this, Kirkman. I've got my angry nerd spectacles on, pushing them up on the bridge of my nose, just kind of, So, but yeah, I mean, it's entirely possible. But did you?
Yeah. I don't know. I guess for me, I kind of just took it for what it is. Like I just kind of like, okay, like, ooh, some smack talk and like, ooh, like my leader's better than yours kind of thing. Like that's all I really took it for.
The thing that landed with me was just basically like I think what it's showing is that Soundwave is at least listening to what
Yes.
Thundercracker is saying. He's not doesn't agree with him, but when Thundercracker makes that statement, and then he thinks, Soundwave thinks of Ravage, like he's like, okay, well, I guess that's how you feel, but like I don't think it's gonna lead to any further uh, allegiance changing. I just feel like it's Soundwave acknowledging what he's saying, and I think that's
Right.
it. It's giving some character to Soundwave, that he's not just robotic as he's been kind of like the 80s dialogue, a cartoon
Yeah.
dialogue that he's been portrayed in the first couple issues of this story arc, which now is a good time to bring this up. I did read in the letters column that Kirkman is like, well, he did get dropped off a building. So, because like somebody wrote in asking, like, why is Soundwave portrayed like he is
Oh
in the
my
cartoon now?
god.
And Kirkman's like, yeah, maybe, he's dropped off a building. I don't
Well,
know.
he
Head
was dropped on
trauma.
his head.
Yeah. I think ultimately it's probably Kirkman saying, you know what I liked about Soundwave? I liked how he talked in the cartoon. And he wants to bring that into the character and then slowly kind of, bring out more of the actual character that we've seen in the series so far. So I really think it's just him wanting to play with that toy and be like, yeah, I loved him in the cartoon. So I think that's all that it is. I don't know that
I'm
it's
sorry, that's just so funny. Well, you see, he was dropped on his head.
right. But that's Kirkman being coy and like I don't know.
Right, yeah.
It's his way of saying like I just like how he talked in the
I just did it
cartoon.
because I wanted to, all right?
Exactly. That's what it is. Like I think that's he's just saying like I don't know. It's pretty cool when he's done in like a So yeah, I don't know. And he's just coming up with it on the fly, like, well, could be. I don't know. It's like not how I intended it, but sure, that works. But I like the sequence. I mean, it's I don't think it's anything. I don't think it means anything huge. I just think it's further character development, and I think that's okay.
I think that you guys have raised some good points. Kind of made me mellow out a little bit about it. I mean, I still think that this is the weakest part of the issue for me. It fell a little flat, mostly
Really?
just because I think, I mean, Thundercracker's saying all this stuff, and it's just like, it's supposed to like appeal to we've seen that Soundwave. We're supposed to think that he is at least maybe gettable, in terms of
Yeah.
whether that's like an alliance, maybe not necessarily joining the Autobots, but like Prime extended the offer at the end of issue 6, and it seemed like he considered it before he like told him to kick rocks.
And
But
then, and then came back to it to issue 25, whatever that was, when he offered him some energon while he was
right,
imprisoned. So
right.
they are tugging at that potential story thread. But I would be surprised if it's anything uh like a huge thing like the Thundercracker
No, 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 no. Yeah,
teams are
I
bringing
don't.
out. Like,
I don't think they're trying to. Yeah, I think that what missed the mark for me was that all this stuff that Thundercracker is saying. It's like, yeah, man, like you're saying all that, and you're standing where you are with the badges on your wings, partly because of this guy that you're talking to, and like
yeah,
the appeal to Ravage falls like the stuff with Ravage falls a little flat for me, just because it's like, yeah, of course that was a recurring thing that was happening with Soundwave and Thundercracker, or not Thundercracker, Shockwave and Starscream. But I mean, the thing is, like, one of Megatron's first things that he did when he rejoined the Decepticons was revive Ravage. And so it's like, is that really going to be the thing that like
yeah,
gets
yeah.
Soundwave to like, if anything, it seems like he's going to be like, whatever, dude, like Megatron, maybe the rest of the Decepticons suck, but Megatron is awesome. He gave me my cat back, dude. Like,
That's it's true that even what you were saying about how it's Thundercracker is there because of the actions of Soundwave when he was a leader, like when he was in charge. That's
right.
when I think that was like the first time we saw him kind of doubt, right? When they were like going to kill all of the at the like, aircraft carrier, and
Yeah,
Thundercracker like
that
had some reservations. So
that was
and
the first time,
Soundwave
and
was,
then
yeah,
we
that's what yeah.
we saw a
Because
few other ones after that.
yeah, but that was the first time, and it was on Thunder on Soundwave's order. So yeah, this is not, and maybe this is just Thundercracker saying it to like a former ally to convince himself that he's made the right decision. And
Yeah,
maybe he's still going
it's true.
through. The I don't know, but maybe it's more for him than it is for Soundwave, because I think you're barking up the wrong tree there.
That was just
Yeah,
my
no,
little issue with it.
I mean, would it be any less? I mean, the whole point of this is just to overthink everything. So let's,
Right.
it's like this,
It's a
this
good
Yeah.
one
point.
page of like, 5 or 6 word balloons, and we're like, what does this mean? So
Kirkman's done it
Kirkman's
again.
just like,
Bravo.
yeah,
nothing. It means nothing.
actually, idiots. Gotcha.
Desimir, dude, I just threw that in. I didn't know who that guy was till yesterday.
Yeah.
Dude.
I didn't actually read Johnson's run. What are you talking about? We're moving along to a sequence that I thoroughly enjoyed, but I'm getting the sense that maybe, just maybe, you guys weren't as positive about it. Um,
I,
so I am looking forward to talking about this section, um, where we switch over to the Shadow Watch base. Um, did you have something you wanted to throw in real quick, Carl?
no, I don't think I uh, disliked it as much as maybe Swizz, and maybe I don't want to put words in your mouth, Swizz. It just I didn't really I don't have a problem with this sequence. Actually, I like
I
this
got a
sequence.
problem with this.
Yeah,
I'll
yeah,
say
yeah, yeah.
that.
So, um,
Well, I am looking forward to
Yeah.
hearing what those problems are. In order to get there, we must first talk about what actually happens. So we pick up pretty close to where we left off with this whole thing. Started last issue with Miles Mayhem being arrested by General Flag, and he is being escorted. It seems like he's being escorted out of the base. Flag is essentially explaining that they are taking him to some hole in the ground somewhere, some black site somewhere or something. I don't know. Probably somewhere where Mayhem is never going to be seen again. But before any of that can happen, Mayhem says that he has other plans, and he says Viper activate, and we're finally getting into the mask stuff. We've had the characters, we've had Tracker and we've had Miles Mayhem, but now we're actually seeing them do mask things. And so we see Mayhem activate his Viper mask, and he sprays some acid on the soldiers here. And this is part of what I said earlier when I said that there were some surprising and shocking things beyond the end. I have to say, like, this is like kind of a level of violence against humans that we haven't really seen in this series, unless I'm
Yeah.
mistaken. Like, it's usually like off panel or implied. This is just like full in your face. This man is getting melted by acid. um, and it's pretty gory. I mean, I gotta say, like, it's not like, it's all like neon green, and it's just like they're bubbling in such a way where it's like maybe not the most realistic gore, but it is nonetheless gore. But
Yeah.
anyway, this sequence, they're trying to get a handle on Mayhem. All chaos is basically, well, all mayhem has broken
Uh-huh.
loose, and
Oh.
he releases his blade jet, which is kind of his signature weapon from the series. And we get this double spread, phenomenal color work by Spicer here, with all these pinks and blues and greens. It's just very, very nice. Mayhem says, "Consider this my resignation flag," as he kicks off the kind of melted head of one of the soldiers, which again, I feel
Yeah.
like is a level of gore. And we've got like these corpses, like these bubbly corpses, like littered throughout this scene. But I digress. He uses his acid to free himself with his restraints. Flag thinks he's big man on campus. Assumes he's going to have to be the one to take this down, take Mayhem down. Pulls out a pistol. Mayhem squirts the pistol with some acid. I don't know why. I don't know why Flag gets off so light here in terms of the
Right.
acid coverage. Plot. He's got
Yeah.
plot armor exactly. As the reinforcements arrive, Mayhem hops in the blade jet and lifts off into the air, and then his blade jet like transforms into like the like jet mode kind of thing, and takes off. And as he flies off into the distance, this kind of cool panel where we see the base and the blade jet reflecting in Flag's aviators, with just kind of we just get the one bit of one eye that we can see of Flag's. And he says, "Someone find Matt Tracker. I've got a sneaking suspicion we backed the wrong horse." You think? Uh, like,
Jeez. I
should
wonder
have been
why.
obvious a long time ago when you were looking at this
Miles
guy's
Mayhem.
resume and it said Miles Mayhem.
Matt Tracker, Miles Mayhem. I don't
Hmm,
know.
I don't know about this Tracker guy. 2Ks? I don't know. That's a bit
Yeah.
much.
This Mayhem guy.
But
I like it.
I like the cut of this Mayhem guy's jib. Um, I feel like we started with you again last time, Swizz, but
I,
we're
I
gonna
got I
get
got
to you,
to.
Carl.
Yeah. No.
Oh,
I'm
yeah, no,
deferring to Swizz. Yeah.
yeah, I really want to hear. I
Yeah.
want to hear what he has to say about this sequence.
Okay, so again, I'll happily be the bad guy here. This was the worst part of the book for me. This was like really bad because I feel like this, in my opinion, could have been done in a page, maybe two tops. Like, and like I will say, this is like I agree with what you said. Like the amount of gore is really cool to see. Like I remember when I was reading, I was like, whoa, 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 whoa. I was like, wait a minute. That's about it. That's all I can really give like credit to, man. Because if you're to tell me like, hey, we're gonna drop 4 pages of this, but we're gonna give Arcee battling the other, warriors. We're gonna give that just a nice 1 page, spread. I don't know, man. I would have loved
Yeah.
to have 2 or 3 pages of that and this be a 1 page thing. I with what happened in, G.I. Joe, I'm kinda happy that we, us, the
Mhm.
Teletraan Tapes people, we backed the right horse with General Flag. I know this is gonna sound like so mean, but I don't care about this stuff. I don't I'm not interested. I just when anytime I read this part in the story so far, I'm just like, okay, like cool. It's just not for me. It's I don't, I'm not a fan of the mask stuff. I'm just not, and I just think it was super unnecessary to have a 4 page sequence of this guy making an escape. And like, I will give credit where credit is due. I think the art, like you said, is really good. The coloring is top notch. Like the pink on that blade jet just pops. Like it
So
just
sick.
yes, it just pops. That green pops with the acid. Like just this pops. And I like it. I like that aspect, but everything else I don't like. And I just again with what you said, someone find Matt Tracker. This Miles Mayhem guy. I think he's the bad guy. Like man, that's crazy, Or, maybe we could have got another page of, Soundwave and Thundercracker going, back and forth. I just feel like just the page allocation was not it was just not smart. And then especially with what happens again after this sequence, we get like an obligatory sequence after this. So it's
Yeah.
frustrating, man.
I was someone who I just want to be on record because I'm pretty sure I said it on the pod. I was somebody who definitely questioned whether or not Flag might be Zartan, and I
Yep.
was
Oh,
definitely
okay,
in that
yeah.
camp. So I don't.
Yeah.
I would love to take credit and just be like, oh yeah, no, I was on the right side of that the whole time, but it's not entirely true. So
No,
just
no, no,
wanted
no,
to
you're
just
you're
wanted
you're
to add that.
ruining it. No, we're always right. We always come on, man. Why'd you
I
All right,
yeah.
we're gonna cut this out. We're gonna
we're
cut
gonna
this part
cut
out.
this out.
Well,
We're gonna
I
cut all
mean,
this part out.
I think we all questioned it at some point, but towards like the late like of Flag helping out like the Autobots, I think we're kind of like, okay, maybe he isn't. So I think at one point we were all questioning whether or not he was actually General Flag or not.
Yeah.
I think it's obvious now that he
Right.
was. I hope this is what the reasoning. I hope he was written as a difficult character to peg down because they were trying to
Yeah.
have us think that, because
Yep.
if you think about if Zartan was, we knew that Zartan was somewhere in the books, somewhere in the Energon universe, he was doing something deep
He's
undercover,
in Void Rivals,
and
man.
yeah,
That's where he's
exactly.
at.
So, so I think it had, in order to make it uh to throw some people off the scent, and there are those that have thought that it was who it actually was. They pegged that correctly. But I was hoping that it was Flag only because it would have explained why he was all over the place as far as characterization goes. But now, okay, obviously it's not Flag, so now we can settle into who Flag actually is, and that's fine.
Right.
Now we can kind of accept. I think we can accept what his actions as being
He's just a shady
whatever.
government
Right.
guy.
He's
Yeah.
just right. Exactly. Yeah. Um, so I will push back a little bit, Swizz, on. So if you remember, was it last issue where Flag just kind of like took down Mayhem with like no like difficulty
I
at all. He just
chiseled
like put like
steel,
his
son.
right. Yeah, he's like the two finger to the jaw, like um, and then we were like, well, that was like if you're building up Mayhem to be this dude that it was just like quickly subdued by Flag, I feel like this is the payoff to that. Like this is the answer to say, look, Mayhem is a threat. Like he actually is capable, and he's not just like a pushover dude that Flag quickly called out and was like, "You're done, son." So I like this sequence. I think when you pit it against like, would I rather have this or more RC, or then I think it starts to be unfair to this actual sequence and what it's doing for the Energon universe. But you're not wrong. I mean, if in a Transformers book, would I rather see the RC stuff or the Mayhem stuff? I'd rather see the RC stuff. But this is necessary for where we're going in the Energon universe, and I like seeing, finally seeing the mask stuff come into play, like what the masks are capable of doing, bringing in the vehicles. I love seeing all that. So
I think it just boils down to a pacing problem, though. Like it
yeah,
just boils down to that because it's just I I think like more like I think the majority of people would agree if they're like, hey, we want to see more of the RC stuff than this stuff
yeah,
because yeah, it is a
it's
Transformers book. It's just the pacing's all over the place. Like I just talked about everything with like Thundercracker. Like Thundercracker had a nice progression, and then it just was straight down the cliff. Boom, he's an Autobot, and then RC. Hey, you're gonna be the new Magnus. Okay, maybe, and then boom, you're the new RC, or you're the new Magnus. It's like, okay, and then here this dude gets just a luxury 4-page just I'm evil.
I mean, I
And he just
just yeah,
leaves.
totally. I mean, that's the thing. Like when
I get
you
it though. I see what you're
like,
saying. But
and not to say that you're wrong, because you're not. It's just when it just becomes easier to say, like, I like what's here, but there's just so much going on that I would want more from the other storylines as well. So,
yeah.
and honestly, like the next sequence, maybe that doesn't need to be here at all. Or
That's what I'm saying. This
and take
sequence and the
that
next
away, and
sequence are
then
just so like obligatory to me. There's like, oh,
yeah.
fine, here, here,
But
you
I don't
know.
I don't think so. I think this sequence, the 4-page sequence with Mayhem, is important, and it's going to play down the line. Like, I just feel like all signs are pointing to um, Mask in full.
Yeah.
Like, whether that means a full separate book, I don't know, but obviously that stuff is coming. And I think Swizz, I think you represent the plight of Mask fans everywhere, where like some Transformers fan is like, get this Mask shit out of here. And it's a sense of like, Mask has always been like, it always like exists in the same kind of conversation, but never the star when it comes to like Transformers
Right.
or GI Joe.
Yeah.
And I'm not like picking on you at all. I just
No, no, no.
it's
I
just,
get it.
but Mask has always been that property that was really cool, but never had the like the might of the of like the Hasbro machine behind it, as far as like the GI Joe, the Transformers. It never like took off like those two properties did. But it always was like freaking cool, and I think it exists. Having it be in the Energon universe, I love it. I love that it's here. It makes so much sense. It complements so much of like the military special forces kind of thing of GI Joe, as well as like the technology of the Transformer. So like bringing it in, brilliant. I love it. But at the expense of some of the cool things that we want to see in a Transformers book, yeah, it's a tough call that they're making, but I like that it's here, but it's not without its sacrifices. So
Yeah, I think and I think everything you said is like well put, but I just don't think I could ever be convinced of like, hey man, this was a really great 4-page sequence. I think it's just overkill. Like especially with like like the sequence after this. Like it just like to me it's just Kirkman saying, "Here, damn, like shut up. Like here, take it." It's
yeah,
like with like I just said, like for the 100th time, Thundercracker's like, all right, he's an Autobot. All right, leave me alone. Like it's done. He's an Autobot now. All right. So
Soundwave fell
yeah,
on his head. That's just the way he talks now. Leave me alone.
right.
yeah. Stop with the questions.
Yeah.
Just let me tell my
Just read.
story. God, leave me alone.
Dot, man. Dot.
Ugh.
All right. Confession time.
I'm
I
ready.
was never super big into Mask.
Gasp.
I had, there was a neighbor kid that had some of the toys. I definitely thought they were cool, but I just was never, I didn't have that much exposure to it. Like I saw some episodes of the cartoon, and to be fair, it is very cool. Like the concept of the toy line and everything. it's cool. I really like it. So I'm not the biggest Mask fan. Not because I dislike it or anything, but just because I just never really got into it and don't have very much of a nostalgic connection to it. Um,
Real quick.
yeah, yeah,
Me neither. I feel
okay,
like we're in the same boat here.
yeah, yeah,
I had Matt Tracker. I had whatever that car. I forget what the, I don't know the vehicles, the names for Mask. I'm familiar with what they are. I know the toys to see them, like the big rig,
right,
the and like Mayhem's like ship, like jet thing. And so,
yeah,
but yeah, I'm in the same boat. Like I never was really into the cartoon. Always loved the look of Tracker, like his like the mask that goes on there. I love the concept of the toys, but they were like an oddball toy because the figures were smaller. They never really fit in. They weren't in the same scale of like a GI Joe toy. They were like a kind of like a 3-inch figure, like so they just never in the head canon of mixing your toys together, they always seemed really out of place. So uh, yeah, that's a big part of I think why I never really latched on to Mask, because it was just like, oh, this is this cool car that does stuff, but that doesn't really mix in well with all the other toys in my collection. So
right.
um, yeah, I mean, at that point, really wasn't a collection. It was just a toy box full of plastic. So, but like, yeah. Not to cut you off, but I feel like we're in the same boat as far as mask goes. So you don't have to feel shame for being of the age and not liking it.
Yeah,
So
yeah. But yeah, for sure. So like that, you kind of get a sense of maybe where I'm going with this, so that like when we saw Matt Tracker pop up in last year's Energon Universe special, is like, all right, I'll keep an open mind, but uh, okay, I don't
yeah,
feel, there's actually a part of me that was like, do we have to do this? Like, do we have to bring Mask into this? Like, I
it,
part of me still remembers the Hasbroverse of latter day IDW one, and I was just like, do we really have to do this again? Like, can't we just keep it Transformers and GI Joe and Void Rivals? Like, can't we just do that? So I was not like super stoked on it, but I was willing to give it a shot. And like leading up to like everything that we have seen so far since Kirkman took over Transformers, where Mayhem and Mask kind of became a bit more prevalent. I've just been kind of like, okay, sure, I'll see where this goes. But I have never really gotten that into it. Uh, I do have to say that this was the point where I kind of turned around on Mask being a part of the shared universe and like being in this book. Um, and I think it's because we are actually getting into the cool part of like
what makes
what
mask cool?
what makes Mask, like
Yeah,
the masks in the vehicles. We're finally like seeing
yeah,
that stuff, and like just you know the just this sequence. I enjoyed it, so that really kind of turned me around on this to the point of where I'm like, okay, I'm kind of on board with this now, and I'm much more interested and invested in where the Mask portion of this all is going. I wouldn't say that I'm invested enough to want a separate ongoing Mask title.
agreed.
Um, I kind of hope that that's not where this is leading. I do I like it kind of being woven in to the fabric of these main titles.
Yeah,
Now that being said, Swizz, like, when you kind of position it as like an either or, where it's like, well, would you rather have this cool sequence with Arcee, or would you rather have Mask? It's like, well, I'm first and foremost a Transformers fan, so duh, I want the Arcee part. But
yeah,
I'm also grateful that I get this part that I was kind of lukewarm on, and now I care more about it. So for me, this worked, and it wasn't a waste, and I'm actually glad that it panned out the way that it did, because I feel more engaged with this corner of the title now, if that
yeah,
makes sense.
Yeah.
yeah. And I am not to. I, I agree, and to piggyback on what you said about the like a fourth book. Um, I don't know that I'm clamoring for a Mask title. I mean, I'll buy it. I'll read it if that's what we get. If we do get a full on Mask title, but um, if we do, I kind of hope it's in the vein of everything else that's been going on in the Energon universe, where it's like there's Mask characters, there's GI Joe characters. It could be just another place for some of the characters to live. You know, like it doesn't have to be all Mask. You know, throw a transformer in there, throw whatever it is. Maybe Hound and Clutch. Maybe Hound goes over. I don't know, whatever it is. Like whatever the makeup is of that potential fourth book. If it's just Mask, I will be less enthused. But I hope it's like we get kind of cameos and other corners, because what I think is interesting about Mask is how, like I said before, how it fits within the framework of what the Energon universe is. The shared universe where all these
Yeah.
things kind of the same toy box, or everything's you're playing with all the different toys involved, and I think that's cool. I think that's fun. So yeah, we'll just have to see what that potential fourth title looks like, and I'll just, as a good time to point it out, like in talking about again the free comic book day issue that's coming up there, it's 4 stories in there. So what you know it's not one could believe, or one could lead to believe that that is going to be like a Mask story, and is that going to lead to a fourth book? So
Dot dot dot.
that's kind of, yeah,
Dot
it's
dot
kind of why
dot.
I feel like that's inevitable at this point. I feel like that's where this is all going, and yeah, we'll see. I mean, I'm all in on the Energon universe, so I'm not going anywhere. I'll get that fourth title, but I do hope that it's like a mixed cast of the different properties.
Yeah, I agree. I will also buy it. I don't know if I would even say I would begrudgingly buy it, but I'd be maybe be a little cranky about it. It's like, well, you told us it was just going to be the 3 titles, like,
Yeah,
so
they did say, they was like, I remember them specifically saying, "Oh, well, it's gonna be like 3 titles for this year," or like the way that they were like wording it was like, "Oh, we're definitely doing 3 titles for now." Like it
that's
was never
true.
like,
They in the
you
past they
know,
did say like no more than 4.
yeah. So I feel
And that
like,
that was during the time when the GI Joe miniseries were happening.
right. So I feel like it's gonna happen, because then if you could. And just think from a publisher standpoint, if you have an Energon title coming out every single week, I mean, there you go. That's like what you would want. Like, there's always something in a comic shop with the Energon universe, corner box
Yeah.
EU title in there. So,
Man,
um,
I wonder if you guys think I'd get the Mask comic series or not.
We'll get you eventually, just like we
yeah,
got you with
yeah,
GI Joe.
yeah.
Never.
By Mask issue 17, you'll be reading it.
Yeah.
So,
Um but Swizz is going to hate this, but I want to linger on this section a little bit longer.
That's
he's like,
fine. No, that's
"Come
fine.
on,
Yeah.
guys, we didn't talk about
because
RC this much."
but I also and this is like not really like his sequence necessarily, because it's kind of all about like mayhem and like kind of Carl, you touched on this, like showing how formidable of a villain he is, and like how like capable his tech is, and it's this great action sequence and everything. But I do, especially because I feel like a recurring thing that has popped up when we're talking about these Kirkman issues is how sometimes the characterization is not necessarily what we're used to or what we would prefer. Um, and I got to give Kirkman some props here. Not only have I come around on Mask, and maybe this was the reveal in GI Joe 17, but I've
Right.
also come around on Flag as a
Me too.
character, and
Me too. Like,
I think that Kirkman is doing a really good job uh, in terms of giving this character a specific voice, and he's making some choices that I think are not the safe choices to make. Like some of his dialogue is a little like eye rolling or like cringy, but that's just because that's the kind of personality and character that Kirkman is giving him. And like you compare it to, when we saw him in previous issues of Transformers or when he showed up in Destro, he was just kind of, he was fine. It's just there wasn't a lot of personality there. He was kind of interchangeable with Hawk at that point. And granted, we didn't spend a lot of time with him, and it makes more sense that we're kind of getting to know him more because he's more prominent in the story. But I do think that Kirkman is, Flag has become a character that I love to hate, or I love to roll my eyes at. It's like he's just kind of an ass.
This like unearned bravado about him
Yeah,
that
yeah,
and before he was like kind of this like hard ass kind of like, who is this guy? He's just like such a jerk. Like
right.
if he's actually associated with like the Joes, like what's going on here? Like so
Yeah.
um yeah. But I do like that there is seems to be a more consistent voice for him. You're right. That's I do like that. So
Yeah. And I mean, think it distinguishes him from the other military guys that are and leaders that are in the various titles across the Energon universe.
yeah.
And I just and I kind of enjoyed it's a kind of a weird line, but I enjoyed the whole thing where he's just like taking a dig at Miles Mayhem and he's like, "First time seeing the sun in a while, huh?" He's like, "I've got a nice dark hole
Yeah.
picked out for you, my hateful little mushroom." It's just like, man,
Like God,
what a this this guy, man.
like needling
What
him,
He
a
has a way
tool.
with words.
Yeah.
What a tool. And like but I love him now. Like I love this character. Like he's a tool, but I love him.
Oh, I can't believe I have to shoot this guy myself. Like
Yeah,
he's got
exactly.
like it's just this list of its dialogue. He's just like
What's that one line
yeah.
he says like, "Doesn't anyone have a rocket launcher?"
Yeah, yeah. Like, oh yeah, right here. Here you go, boss.
Yeah, exactly. We'll get you yet, Swizz.
We just need yeah,
Well,
we
they're lucky, all right? GI Joe's lucky because they had Hound in it, so that's why I picked it up. That was the real reason
I'm
why.
telling you, there's gonna be,
Yeah.
Yeah,
there's gonna
that's
be
how
some
Mask is gonna get
Transformers.
me. I'm gonna see
Yep.
Miles
Star
Mayhem with
Saber.
like Star Saber or like Sunstreaker. I'm like, oh damn it! Like,
Damn it. But like seriously though, like big picture, if I was Kirkman, I would do that. I would try to get if you've and again, like Transformers and GI Joe fans have not always been on the same page, right? Like so they've been like, oh, get your GI Joe out of my Transformers and vice versa. So if they can figure out a way, if Kirkman can say like, look, but isn't this kind of cool? Like you like Transformers, like this is kind of like it's not the same thing, but it's similar, and I think you could like it. So by having Hound over in the Joes, like having this all mixed together, I think it's like that's the goal. Like they want this to shine a light on other aspects of the fandom that some might not have been familiar with or
okay,
have dug in the trench like Swizz. Like I don't like
I
G.I.
hear
Joe.
you, and like I know you actually I know you actually don't mean it this way, but the way you're making it seem like is like Kirkman has like keys. He's like, ooh, look at Transformers fan, look at wait, the little Autobot. Oh, he's with these guys. Come on, go read the book. He's with the come on.
I
He's like
mean,
holding up the key.
shiny object. Look.
Look, ooh,
But in
fan
some ways,
favorite, Hound. Ooh,
but
you want to read
if
it?
wouldn't you? That to me makes sense. Like
Yeah.
I don't know. Like it's yeah. I would do that if I had the rights to all these like properties and my goal is to sell comic books. Like I would do what they're doing and mix it together because
Yeah, it's very smart what they're doing.
yeah. So and whatever. When I think what'll happen was and probably a lot of readers like I think they're gonna kind of be aware what's going on in like GI Joe or like by being a Transformers fan you kind of know what Hound is up to or like what his role
Yeah.
might be in that book and I think so just so you're kind of aware that way when the big crossover stuff comes that you'll be I think like that's where that's where it'll suit you best to just kind of at least pay attention to what's kind of going on, and you'll do that just from like talking to us about things that are
Right.
happening. Um, but it'll be rewarding eventually when there are the bigger crossover stuff. But I do think and again pause on Transformers. But if you read Duke if you read the Duke miniseries, I think that's all you really need to read to understand what's going on over on that side and their relationship. Because I think you're going to want to read GI Joe 19 and 20 when the Autobots meet the Joes. So
That's
anyway,
right. That is happening. I
so
forgot.
that would be a good couple issues to pick up and just check it out, or just ask us what happened.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Hot Rod being in Void Rivals didn't get Swizz
That's
to crack and start reading
well,
Void
no, it
Rivals.
it
So.
yeah, like it when I saw that in
That's
the
true.
special of 2024, I was like, okay, I gotta read Void Rivals, and I did, and everything was all. But like the sad thing was, it took them like quite a bit for Hot Rod to get introduced. Because I remember I picked it up, I'm like, all right, Springer's in this, like this is holding me down. Then I was like, all right, man, where's Hot Rod? And I was like, all right, I'm just
Yeah,
gonna
never
stop
mind.
reading
Yeah,
this. Yeah, I was like, I'm just gonna stop reading. I really should pick it back up because the
yeah.
people have been telling me to pick it back up, but I'm like, man, like I don't know, like it's Void Rivals is weird because it's just like it'll either be the most entertaining issue or the most like non-entertaining issue. Like I just read 20
Swizz,
pages of just nothing.
I read Void Rivals on a month-to-month basis, and I have the same thoughts. I mean, I I I do. I like the story that's being told there, but there are times like the way that I read a comic, it suits me better to read that in chunks because there's just a lot going on, a lot I don't know. Even like some like the Transformers lore stuff that's over there, I get kind of like
Yeah.
bogged down and like, wait, what is happening here? So, but Void Rivals is a harder one to jump in and out of, where I think GI Joe is pretty straightforward in the sense where it's like you kind of get Cobra versus Joe's, and there's nuances and stuff going on, but it's easier to kind of you know check in once in a while to see if when events are happening that might warrant your attention. It's easier to jump in and out of that book. I think Void
He's
Yeah.
very
Rivals is more of an
thoughtfully,
investment.
yeah. Joe is very thoughtfully partitioned off into very clean arcs, so it
Yeah.
makes it easier to just kind of jump in.
Yeah,
But
digest and like Void Rivals is like we're gonna tell you something in issue 15 that's gonna pay off in issue 84. Like it's just
don't
like
forget it.
right. Remember this?
Hey, remember when this
So
happened?
yeah,
Yeah.
no. So yeah,
No.
I mean it's one of the I'm enjoying it. I'm just like I don't really know what's going on right now. But anyway,
Yeah.
that's not this book. So
No, that is not this book. From one section that Swizz hated to another, we we get a single page checking in, and I actually liked this sequence, but I do have to admit that Swizz, when you said the obligatory, is just like, yep, he's really got a point. It is
for
starting to feel
sure.
like the obligatory Spike and Carly sequence. I do think they're building towards something. I don't know what it is. Like they were following these characters as they like move towards like something more pedestrian, and something is going to shake that up at some point. I don't know what
Yeah.
it is, but it's not happening yet. Right now, we're back at Spike's house, and Carly is going to be staying with Spike. And yeah, they basically exchange some words about like it's kind of similar to what we've seen in the previous issues, like kind of how things have changed and how it's nice to not have to be dealing with all the crazy stuff that we've been dealing with. And the big takeaway here is that Spike is reconsidering his decision to follow in his father's, not his father's footsteps. Don't do that, Spike. Do not do that.
You
Um,
tried that once. It
you
didn't.
tried
Don't
it.
do it
It
again.
didn't work out. Don't
Yeah.
do it. Follow in his brother Jimmy's footsteps. And he's not going to do that anymore because he says that the stars aren't as exciting now that there's less mystery as to what's out there. It also doesn't help that what's out there is pretty scary. And Carly, she kind of encourages Spike not to give up on his dreams. And Spike says that he's not, he's just considering a new path. And I do have to admit that is a very abrupt way to end this sequence. It feels like there maybe should have been another another page here. But
Interesting.
why aren't these issues like double sized? Like all of them
Yeah.
need to be, like
You need a giant size issue.
yes, every issue needs to be a giant sized issue.
Yes.
But anyway, okay, Carl, what did you
Yeah.
think about this page?
Swizz is correct, but I also like this page. Because it is like, do you know who I blame for all of this? And clearly, especially since he's not here to defend himself, it's Delta's fault for harping on the fact
Yes.
that like Spike disappears for issues on end.
Yes, dude.
Kirkman's like,
Yes.
oh, I got to make sure this Delta guy, he seems to know what's up. Like, I'm never going to lose track of Spike ever again. You're welcome, Delta. So,
It's Delta's fault. It's all Delta's fault.
I
It
knew
all
it.
leads back to Delta, dude.
Yeah. But I like what we get here though. I like the callback to, the fact that they're trying to return to a sense of normalcy. And that's like what it's about. Like last issue was like, oh, we should like go on a date. And now it's like, oh, we gotta go back home. So it's setting up the fact that they're trying to go back to normal, but Moon, you said it, something is going to disrupt that, and they're going to get involved again somehow. But I think that's just what it's just supposed to set up, that they're trying to move on, but they are now part of this, so they're not going to be able to move on. But I like the mention of the callback to Laserbeak destroying her house. I think it's powerful seeing a shot of like the chair there with like the footrest that's like still extended, so it's like he got up in a hurry, like it wasn't. I just think that says a lot, and I think it's a really cool choice and a small detail of like having the footrest of the chair still extended, because he's no longer there, and he left in a hurry, and he left in urgency, and yeah, I thought that was pretty powerful for like a throwaway one panel of a shot of a lazy boy. You're like, oh man, that kind of lands with me. So I like that. I like that it's showing that Spike is questioning like his future, and much like Magnus is like, what is his role in all of this now? Where am I going to fit in? And I like it. I mean, I like what's happening here. Could this have waited? Yeah, probably, but maybe that's the point. Is showing that while all of this is going on, our two human, our characters, they're trying to move on, and then like they're not going to be able to. So I like it. But one thing they could have done here that and I don't know, in a way to address how it kind of like abruptly ends. Like, doesn't that last? Like, it's like I'm just considering a new path. What if it was like ... and then you turn the page and it's still Spike's dialogue, but it says considering a new path, considering what we are now seeing, like someone else on a new path. So like it would be a better way to kind of like transition, like
get a new
yeah.
protagonist, like a new human protagonist.
just in the sense of it's a way to kind of marry the ideas of what's happening. Like things are changing, and Arcee's on a new path, so just having not that it would like imply that Spike is part of like the Autobot story, although he is. I don't know. I just thought it would address the fact that this felt like an abrupt end to this scene, and it would still be like,
agree, 100%.
They're still part of this.
I think
that
you fixed that transition for me,
right? Like, because that's what I thought. I was like, oh, it's like that should just be over here, and then it's like, because then it it kind of goes into it too quickly, the way it is with Arcee.
Totally.
So like,
that feels very abrupt as well. Yeah.
Right. So like, I don't know. Like, meanwhile, this other path is being forged, and it's Arcee Magnus. So like, there, done, fixed it.
Go back and retroactively add that into the deluxe editions, please.
So I'm not gonna rip this apart as much as I did with like the Miles Mayhem stuff, but like, dude, like this was not needed. If it was needed, it should have had another page, because it's literally just like, yeah, like I'm not gonna do this anymore. I'm not gonna follow my dreams. I'm just gonna consider a new path. Oh, okay. Anyways, meanwhile, Arcee Magnus, like that's That's all I. It's
Yeah,
just your obligatory. Like, all right, here's Spike and Carly. All right, you're done reading. Cool.
Here
Here's
you go,
Arcee Magnus.
Delta.
Rah! Yeah.
yeah,
No, that's
exactly.
it's
Huh.
funny because like I that's what I immediately like thought of with all this because and I don't remember if he had a similar opinion when he talked about this issue. Here in the group chat. I don't know if he has the similar opinion of like this was just kind of like whatever. But I that's just how it feels to me. It's just like, all right, so we're checking in with Spike and Carly. All right, you guys done? All right. Boom. RC Magnus. Oh man, radical, dude. This issue's awesome. Like that's how I
Yeah.
like look at it. It's just like, dude, I have no real opinion. Like this was just like this was whatever to me. And it sucks because like I don't want people to think like I hate Spike and Carly. I don't. I like Carly had such an awesome like character progression in the story. And so the fact that like, these two are just kind of like, yeah, like, we're just gonna chill here now. Because we saw that what was it, last issue or the issue before where they're trying to like make some plans, go on a date, and it's like meanwhile, it's
Yeah.
something else happening. Like it's just like,
It's
okay,
me,
like
General Flag.
yeah, exactly. Like, hey, sorry guys, we're and like it's Transformers. It's not Spike and Carly and the Transformers. That's not the thing I'm trying to. That's not the point I'm making. It's just that like this was just so forced. This was like such your obligatory, like here's your check-in on these two. Okay. Anyways, that's just all I can really say.
It does feel like, if in the first 24 issues, Carly was the focus, and there was, Spike was there, but there was a lot of backseat driving for Spike. He took the,
Yep.
he wasn't really, he was there, but not there. Wasn't saying much, and I feel like that's their way of it. I think it does a disservice to Carly's character because she, like you said, Swizz, like she has gone through some like an arc, like a good story, and it does feel like she's kind of like settling into Spike's story here a little bit,
Yep.
and I don't want that to happen. However, uh, Spike has been a little forgotten, and he's a central character, so I think it's important to kind of get inside Spike's head to see what he's thinking, what his plans are moving forward. So I think it's good to see that, but I don't want to see Carly's like the strides her character has made kind of like disappear because it just. But again, I think this really it's all it is to show that these two damaged kids are trying to move on. And
Right.
what that means to them is, oh, we should like go back to how it was before. We should go home. And like their home is not their home anymore. And I think they don't know that yet, but they're gonna figure it out. And I think that's why this is here. And I
Who's
think
paying the
Swizz,
bills over there?
yeah, well, that'll
Uh,
that'll wake them up real quick. Like, wait, what?
yeah.
Um, I think once you, and not that this experience should be read in a trade, but I think some of this stuff disappears when you read it in a trade. Because everything else is moving so quickly. I don't think you're going to feel it as much as we do month to month because it's what you're given in a 30-day period is one page of Spike and Carly, and it seems like out of place. But if you're reading it in a 6-issue trade, you're like, oh, okay, like that you're able to say like what what they've gone through in those 6 issues as opposed to these 2 pages of not much happening. So
A 6-issue trade with no chapter breaks. Come
right.
on, you guys.
Yeah.
Just put the
Yeah.
covers in there.
Yeah.
Like, come on. But
I
no, I
do
mean,
you wait, do you fall into I
I
forget if we
do.
talked about this. You do?
I
See, I
do.
don't.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
I I I don't know. I mean, I'm okay with it not being there
I'm
because
I'm I'm Kiwi brain. What like I'm confused what you guys are talking about.
so
Like
sorry, yeah, we just so, a lot of there was pushback in, the fact that in the collected editions, like the deluxe Transformers books, the
oh, there was
the
no
right, the issue
okay.
breaks
Yeah.
aren't there, and it's just one big story. There's no, it's not like, okay, here's the cover for issue 3. Now you're reading the 3rd issue of the story. I like it. I like the fact that it's just because it is one story, like it doesn't I don't think they need them. in my opinion. But
I could go either way.
you know,
Like I've been reading the Marvel compendium that I got, and like I do like
yeah,
how like okay, so now I'm on this issue, but like
yeah,
I feel like you know the first at least the first 24 issues of this run, I feel like it was very like not totally seamless, but like there was like natural. It was a natural progression with the story. So like I could go either way.
it felt like one story. It felt like one
Yeah.
big story being told. So that's
Yep.
why in some cases it works, in some cases it doesn't. But for me, yeah, I was okay with it. But Moon, yeah, not that harp
Yeah,
on it, but
I really I really was struck when I read the deluxe edition for the first time. Actually, I think it first when I read the trade paperback for the first 6 issues, I was like, oh. And then again for the deluxe edition, I was like, wow, I this does flow very well without the breaks. I will admit that it's just not my preference.
yeah,
I don't know. That's a me thing, I think. It's just kind of like, no, I want, if I'm going to stop reading, I am not going to stop at some random scene break. I want to stop at the end of the issue. And now you're expecting me to just remember where the issues end? Come on, man. I'm too old for
yeah.
that. I can't, I,
I need to
I
go to
can't do
bed,
it.
and I need you to tell me
Yeah.
when it's time for bed. I want to get to
Right.
the end of this issue. Yeah.
They're like, no,
Um,
keep reading. Do not put the
keep
book
going.
down. Buy the next one.
You
Must
must
keep reading.
consume.
Yeah, but the one thing that I don't like that it does is like before when I was talking about when Optimus gets the arm. Like I'm like, what is that issue? Was that issue 3? Was that issue like I don't know because I've read it more in collected than I have in singles. So like
Yeah.
I don't remember certain things as what issue it is to reference back to. It's just like oh that when that happened, whenever that was, So I don't know like what issue it was.
Yeah, we've gone a little far. We've strayed a little far afield here, but
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
I think that both of you have raised like some really good points about this little page here, and just in general with Spike and Carly and their place within the series. Um, I do think that Spike, he seemed more of a central character to me earlier on, and then he kind of receded into the background a little bit more, and Carly took a little
Yeah.
bit more focus. And so I hope that that's what's going on here, where it's just kind of. But I agree with you 100%. As I definitely feel like it's more weighted towards Spike right now, and that's not. I mean, I want to see the character get attention and to be fleshed out and all that, but I also don't want, like you said, Carl, I don't want. And you touched on this too, Swizz.
Yeah.
Like with, I don't want what this series did with Carly to be lost because they did really do something special with
Yeah.
her. But yeah, I don't know. I liked this sequence. Not quite to the level of the mask stuff for me, but it was definitely more of like compared to like what we've gotten. I was like, oh, I think I care about this a little bit more than I have their previous interactions. So it's like we're
Yeah.
inching towards me caring about Spike and Carly again, which
Th-
is a good
This
thing, I think.
it felt like more like sorry, it felt more like the characters that we've been with, whereas the
Yeah.
let's go on a date that didn't feel
Right.
like the characters we've been with. So yeah, yeah. Anyway, that's but I do think they had one page, but I think they touched on a lot of things in one page. So I do commend them for that.
But yeah, that abrupt ending, man. That abrupt
Yeah,
ending, and then
that,
the abrupt transition because we just flip over to the next page, and we've got Arcee in her new form, and Ultra Magnus is saying, "Rise, Arcee Magnus," and so uh, this here we go, fellas. We're breaking with G1. We're introducing new stuff. Arcee's got
Yay!
a new body. Um, I I do think I like the design. I think it's hilarious that like apparently what comes with the title of Magnus is shoulder pylons
shoulder
and shoulder
rockets. Yeah, yeah,
missiles,
yeah,
Like
yeah. That's what makes
um
you Magnus. Yeah, which is
yeah.
weird. Like yeah,
Yeah. It's like that's the thing?
That's the
That's
secret.
what it
Write
is?
that down.
yeah.
The
Like
Decepticons are like, wait, write that down. Write that down.
this whole time that was not part of the trailer. Like like
Right?
I was just looking at like, but he still has like some of the like the pylons. His shoulder things are still there, and
Mhm.
like later.
The little abdomen circles are also there on RC too.
Hey,
Yeah.
I didn't catch that. And yeah, I did catch like the red chest section with the triangle. The
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I don't
Yeah,
know if
that's
that's supposed
there.
to be like a delta shape as a nod to like the Delta Magnus. I don't know.
Oh,
Just thought of that.
Yeah, but like, you get the little chest plate, little shoulder rockets. You're a Magnus.
Yeah,
also
that's
the
true. It does
forehead.
kind of have the yeah, the crest thing,
Yep.
the antenna, of course.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
it
yeah,
does
yeah,
have
yeah, yeah.
that kind of I don't know what you call that. I know that it was like that like chest piece for the snapped on from the original toy.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, like
yeah,
like
she
like
does
like
kind of
the
have that.
TP. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
the T thing. Yeah,
I think it's a cool design. I think this looks pretty cool. I mean, I think she,
I have
yeah.
no complaints. I like it, yeah.
yeah.
I need to see the alt mode.
I
Yes.
know.
I need
That's
to
yeah,
see it.
Like,
exactly. That's what. Yeah.
what's that backpack, dude? Like, what does she
It's
turn
huge.
into?
It's like a
Yeah.
Gundam backpack, man. Like
Right.
Yes. Oh,
You know
wait.
what it. You know
You
what it
might be
looks like.
cooking with that. Oh my, if we get some type of crazy like shoulder cannon thing, like her back. Oh, dude, that'd be so cool. No, Moon,
You
you
know what
ruined
this
it.
actually.
Damn
No.
it.
Here's what this is. This is Hasbro saying, "Hey, can you give us a reason to have big chunky kibble like on the back of like the RC robot mode because we can't figure out how to like do a seamless RC figure like because there's always like this like weird ass backpack that she has, like
I
yeah.
so
don't know what she's gonna turn into, dude.
yeah.
Like, I saw people saying a boat because like her design looks you were saying it's like Thunderblast from Transformers Cybertron. I see it. It's not like totally one to one though. It's like
Yeah.
I can see the resemblance, but I don't know.
I guess we'll have
Yeah.
to. I don't know. I want to see it too.
She's gonna
Let's
turn
look that
into a gun, a jet.
A gun
is,
jet.
is
Oh
she
Jet,
gonna be
wait,
able to
gun
like?
with
a
wings.
blade jet.
Yeah,
Will she be able to
there
like
you go.
carry smaller other
Oh yeah.
Autobots like, somehow?
I
Is
Like
saw
she
people
is
saying
she
right,
is she
submarine.
a carrier?
That'd be the
Yeah,
most useless mode. A
dude?
submarine.
Water
guys.
based. It's like, well, you are good for very specific scenarios.
Right.
You know what?
Hey,
You're no
can
longer
we
the second command. You're for scouting. You're gonna go underwater.
can we get there by taking the river? No, we can just we can
Can
just
I get a
fly. Like,
ride with somebody?
like,
Oh man,
oh
only if we had
man.
a submarine for this. Oh wait.
Oh wait.
Lamest Magnus ever. But anyway, so we're all getting adjusted to RC's new body, trying to work out what she might turn into. She is also getting adjusted to her new body, saying that it feels strange. All of her movements feel off. Um, but kind of similar to her communion kind of thing. This little section isn't really about RC,
Yeah.
strangely enough.
Yep.
It's again more about Optimus and Magnus. And like Swizz alluded to earlier, this is where Optimus really kind of puts his foot down and is just kind of like, hey man, I want to urge you not to maybe not do this, like, and he like cites like some kind of historical precedents where during times of war, the Autobots have needed more than one Magnus, and that Optimus just doesn't think that they can spare Ultra Magnus, which do you think his name is Ultra? Is that
I know this is
Dude,
like
that's what I'm
like
saying,
it's
dude. Like,
such like I don't know. Like I hope there's a plan here because it just seems just so arbitrarily
please go with the
ridiculous.
Dion storyline. Like, do you guys know
yeah,
that one? Like that
yeah,
the old,
yeah.
yeah. I want that so bad, dude. All will be forgiven, Kirkman, if you make that a reality, dude. If you have the whole
Like
Magnum and Dion story, dude,
He
please.
might. He pulled in Beta
Yes, dude.
in Void
I
Oh,
just
Rivals.
oh,
I
really?
don't as a fan of Ultra Magnus.
Spoilers.
Oh, okay.
I want Ultra Magnus to be Ultra Magnus. Like
Mhm.
I just feel like I don't know. I like the idea of Magnus being a title, but like I don't. This doesn't make sense to me yet. How this works? Like you're gonna call him Ultra? Like just so that's so stupid. Like I just can't. But like if you
No,
don't
I
come up with
agree.
an explanation, that's just what we're going to assume that it's
Right.
dude's name is Ultra. Like
So, okay, Carl, I'm gonna come to your defense here because like 'Cause I don't want anyone commenting like, well, you see, actually,
Yeah, yeah.
um, look, we know, we all know, and if you don't know, in previous Transformers continuities, Magnus was a title. Like like that's a thing that we are aware that that was a thing. It's just weird that like they're doing it here because now it's like we were just saying. Okay, so what's his name? Is it just Ultra? Like he was just
Yeah.
Ultra, the little Autobot that could, like, and then he became a
Yeah.
Magnus and now he's Ultra Magnus because now it's RC Magnus. It's just odd, like, so I'm just saying that to like come to your defense because like
That's true. Yeah, it
I
is.
had so many comments, man, just like,
Yeah.
but in Transformers animated, it's a title. And I'm like, yes, I know. I just still find it strange that they're doing it here.
Yeah, like, just
Yeah.
because
I don't
and
know if it's the G1er in me, but
that's
I
what it
agree
is.
with you like
G1.
That's what
100%,
it is.
like,
That's what it is
because
with me, and
yeah.
Oh god.
I
What
know
you
I'm
painted a
not
horrible picture for us.
Swizz is like Swizz tried to do us a favor and be like, "Yeah,
Yeah.
no, don't
Now,
worry,
let me
guys,
just
like, they
let me just
they're not."
undo everything you tried to do, Swizz. Let me just let me just throw
I hear you.
us under the
However,
bus.
G1.
Yeah. Counterpoint, G1.
Okay, boomer. Like, I can't. It's just what it is. Like it is. My introduction to the character was through the '86 movie. I can't help my experience with the franchise. You know what I mean? Like so. I like that Magnus is a title. I like that part of it. It's just having that be what it is. It impacts a character that I really love. So I just it's me having to come to grips with like, well, what does that really mean? So it'll be fine. I'm not like whatever. And I like that they're marrying. If people have said that it's been too G1, which I can, yeah, there's a lot of G1 stuff in here. So to bring in other things, other aspects of the different parts of the property, the franchise, I think it's cool. Like I'm all for it. So it's just that's just where I'm coming from. It's just like I don't know. I just
Yeah, no, and like I I have enjoyed continuities where Magnus is a title. I really liked uh animated. I really liked Prime. Was Magnus a title in that one? I think I don't remember.
I don't think it was, but
No?
I don't
Okay.
know.
Strike that
so
from the record then. But I did enjoy animated. I liked I I kind of have mixed feelings on everything they did in IDW with Ultra Magnus, but uh for the most part I'm in favor of being like, yeah, tell me a good story and I'll go along for the ride. But there is a part of me that is just like, can't Ultra Magnus just be Ultra Magnus? And like
yeah.
he's just like a
Thank you.
singular guy.
Thank you, bro, because that's like been my like that's what I've been thinking in my head and keeping to myself. Like I just because like I Carl likes the character, you like the character, and like I like to imagine that like Carl, me and you are kind of like the same way. Like Magnus is like top 5, maybe top 3 favorite Transformer for me.
Yeah.
So like I take a big not I don't want to like over exaggerate like, oh, this is a slap in the face, but it's not like that. It's just like, what are we doing, man? Like, cause like
He's my guy. Like I just, like I
he's my guy, and it's been hard with everything as a Magnus fan, seeing what's happened to the character. Not to say in a bad way, like it's cool
yeah.
that they gave him depth in the previous story arc. The whole PTSD. It was gut wrenching, and you're like, dude, that's one of my favorite characters, and like, oh my god, like he went through all that, like it sucks. So like the fact that like we finally get him back to how he was, um it just sucks. I could honestly, I could talk your guys' ear off about Ultra Magnus and specifically the G1 version of Ultra Magnus, but I'm not gonna do that because I had like a 2-hour conversation with my pops about that like 2 weeks ago, and it's just I don't like where this is going with Ultra Magnus. I'm personally not. I don't know.
Yeah, I just
Big question
I
mark.
have I'm gonna because here's the thing. Kirkman obviously has talked about his love for the '86 movie, his love for the
Mhm.
cartoon, and I have faith that wherever he's going, he's going there out of love for the character.
Yep.
So so I like Moon said, I'm willing to go along for the ride if you tell me a good story. So
Of course, of
um,
course.
it's just it's a lot to take in. You're taking away his characters, like as the city commander. You're saying he's still dealing with the PTSD, which is fine. I'm fine with all of that. Like I just and then you're like, now we're gonna take your name, and it's just like, okay, like again, like it's okay. It's
Your
just
name's
I
gone. Your title's
right.
gone. You're no
You're
longer second in command. You are a scrub. Get
you
out
are
of
ultra
here.
hot garbage. Get out of here.
Yeah, yeah.
No. So like that's all. It's just a lot to kind of to adjust to for a character that I really love. So um
Right.
long term I think it's gonna be fine. It's just right now I'm like,
Yeah, I
grumble. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
totally. I think that's the direction that they're heading because like this Optimus' spiel in this whole thing.
Yeah.
Um, because I mean Magnus is, Optimus like lays it all out there. He's like, "Hey man, like I'm like this close to like ordering you to not step down." Like, like he all
Yeah.
but says that.
I'm being
And
very nice because you're my
right,
oldest friends,
I
but I'm
respect
telling
you.
right.
you,
I
yeah,
you've
Yeah.
been through some yeah.
yep.
Yeah. And like Magnus says that he's reluctant, but he'll consider it. So I think like when we first like got the whiff of this storyline last issue, and then it's like earlier on, it's like I've made up my mind. I was like, okay, well, you know, but it seems like this is kind of going in that direction. I don't know what it's going to look like. I don't want it to happen, but I feel like this
Yeah.
is just kind of going in that direction. But then when we get to this section, like towards the end, I'm just like, nah, they gave us an out. They gave us an out by having like uh
Yeah.
the option for having two
Yep.
Magni.
It's
Um,
Yeah.
yeah. And I think it's just that does enough for me to be like, okay, I'm on board. I'll see where you're
Yep.
going with this, and because
Yep.
it's not like not immediately like, nope, there's one and that's it. So
right.
it gives me enough, enough to like latch onto. So I'm good.
Yeah. And then the next section, it actually does get to be about Arcee a little bit more. She steps outside of the darkened room in the arc that they have been in into the bright sunshine, and uh, Carl's number one boy,
Yeah,
Beachcomber,
he gets two
gets a
lines of
line.
dialogue. This is great.
Yeah, it is great.
Hey,
Yippee!
he gets two. Two consecutive panels. He talks. This is great.
Is that him though, or is that
Wait. No,
Shredhead?
it's Shredhead.
Oh wait, no, that is
Oh, it's
God.
Shredhead.
Sorry,
Oh.
Never
I don't want to.
mind.
I
Back
don't
to
want to take the.
one line.
We shouldn't have
No,
taken it
you're
away
right. You're
from
right.
him.
Yeah,
We should
no,
have.
no. You're
We
right.
just shouldn't have said anything.
Yeah, I
Sorry,
forgot.
Carl.
Because I mean, it is clearly Shredder because it's like that is quite the upgrade. You honor us. I just in looking at the page again, I was like, oh yeah, that's Beachcomber still talking. But never mind.
Yeah,
Beachcomber's
Whatever.
line
but
kills me, man. That's
This
so
issue is
funny.
trash. No, but
we
I like that
we do.
it is Beachcomber saying that though. Like it's
Yeah,
because Arcee and Beachcomber have like they've been on
they went on a
their own
journey.
mission. Yeah, so like they uh-oh.
I'm sorry. I'm just laughing because like I can't get over Beachcomber's line because he's just like RC's just towering over him. He's like, "Whoa, I feel safer already." Like,
Step on me,
Hey,
RC.
hey.
that's how I take it, dude. I'm like, okay, Beachcomber.
Va va
Uh,
voom. All right,
Like, look at
Beachcomber,
this little
settle down.
smirk too, man.
Yeah,
Like,
no.
dude, you are not fooling us. Oh my
Keep it
god.
in your pants, Beachcomber.
Look at that humongous back kibble. Hey, you guys. Bulkhead. Bulkhead and Mirage leap into action here. They're back in action. Bulkhead gets to say some stuff, and Mirage, you can just barely make out his face in between this tiny little gap between
Well, he's a
Wheeljack's
mirage,
legs.
man.
You-
Makes sense.
Yeah, that's
Do
true.
you know what word sums up Bulkhead's line there? Awesome, because I was
Awesome.
ready. I was ready.
Were
for
you
the
ready?
Awesome. I
Were you
was.
ready
I mean,
for
I
the
was not
awesome?
ready for that level of awesome.
Dude, it was radical, man. Oh,
Yeah, no. Bulkhead brings up what those of us who noticed were thinking, and for those who didn't notice, he wanted to make sure Kirkman wanted to make sure you did notice. that Arcee has Ultra Magnus's missiles and everything. So, and that it's been a long time
to
since
the
they've.
listeners, we promise we actually did like this issue.
No,
we
it-
promise.
what's
we did.
funny-
We did.
I did, but I still have to say this. It's like the note that like Kirkman wrote to Dan Mora. He's like, "Yeah, give her like his missiles and everything," and then that's it.
Mora's like missiles and everything.
And everything. Okay.
Sure.
I don't know if they're gonna pick. Maybe they won't pick up on that right away. I got to make sure they notice the missiles and everything.
Yeah.
Mora's like, okay, what else can I throw in here to fall under and everything? But he also says that it's been a long time since they've had a new Magnus, which is interesting. That means that Ultra Magnus has been doing such a exemplary job, I assume.
For a very long time. Yeah.
Yeah. But the point of all of this is for Optimus to gather the Autobots together. First mission of the Kirkman era, I guess. I don't know if I would have used
What are
the
they
term.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like I feel like there have been others, but anyway, I'm being pedantic. I gotta stop doing that. I do like how
I just envision RC going like, does the roll call, and then she's like, "All right, let's go," and then like they just like scatter. Like, well, wait, what are we doing? What are we? Where are we going? What's like,
Right.
What's our goal here? So,
it is kind of vague.
We're gonna
you know?
go. That's
yeah.
our goal.
Well, I mean,
get
that's
ready.
like
Yeah.
if they scattered. I mean, he says that he wants them to cover a lot of ground, right? They're looking for signs of Decepticon activity, cover a lot of ground, locate and eliminate Decepticon threats.
Do you guys feel like that's kind of like, because we've talked about it in this new story arc? Do you feel like that's another example of Optimus Prime just like overwording, like what the thing is? Because like he's just like we just talked about this. Should we bring these Decepticons back online? And then next issue, any luck, we can locate and eliminate some Decepticon threats.
I just feel like there's
Yeah.
a better way to tactically approach this mission, as opposed to just like, okay, everybody gather, everybody go. You know, like, you know what I mean? Like,
It's a very Saturday morning cartoon kind of.
Yes,
issue.
it is.
right,
It is.
right,
Of
exactly
course,
right. Yeah, because it's like that's clearly going to lead to something bad happening if you like splinter off into, you know,
Right.
like why don't you have Superion go fly
Wait,
and like look
splintering
or, like,
off.
Oh,
I wonder what that means.
You don't want to. Yeah, you don't want to. You don't want to be caught alone out there in the woods.
That's
that would
true.
be
I guess that
would
also
be-
applies to Cybertronians, not
Yeah.
just as those people, but as also Cybertronians.
I will say that I feel like this is more on brand on what Optimus should be. Compared to the like, should we revive Blitzwing? Do you think he would be a great addition to our ranks? No, of course not. But yeah, so like this. But yeah, like the plan is.
I feel like this is just him saying to the reader, because it's remember like issue 25 when he's talking to that little girl and he's just like overwording himself. He's just like, the good and evil, and and the little girl's like, can I leave? I feel like this was kind of the Autobots are like, all right, yeah, we know, man. Like we've been at war with these guys forever. We know.
It's like I feel like
with our newly expanded roster.
Yeah.
Buy our figures. That's just what that screams to me.
Yeah, it's like he's got the toy catalog out in front of him.
Yeah.
To kick off this mission, the mission itself, not important. What's important here is how they're going to kick off the mission. And Optimus gives Arcee Magnus her first official duty as Magnus, which is to rally the troops. And I got to say, guys, I don't know how you feel about it, but I loved this little callback to the cartoon.
Yes, this was awesome.
Absolutely. Yeah.
This was just a great page, and don't think I didn't notice the grid, Carl, after reading Drome. Don't think that's not the first place that my mind went to.
Exactly. I think there's already just by having like just the names on here alone, that might be like half of the dialogue that's in Drome.
Correct.
So,
yeah, we get this whole the roll call, and I love how everybody gets their own distinct colored background. I thought that was a really nice touch, and you can see that everybody is different heights. I kind of wish that they had like just really, really leaned into the G1 nostalgia and done the whole thing. That like, what was it that Jazz said? Like, Autobots, start your engines. I loved that
Yes.
line. It's
Yes, dude. Yes.
it's a little better than transformation cogs activate, but it's still fine. But what is really cool here is that we get these layered sound effects that are also different colors that kind of reflect the different colored backgrounds that we saw during the roll call. So we just get like this sense of all of the Autobots transforming. I love that little touch. It's really
That's cool.
cool. And I mean, we do cap it off with the goats line in the original cartoon, Ready Prime. I do think it's kind of funny that one of the aerial bots, I think it's Air Raid, is like miscolored as Jetfire carrying that cargo hold from like.
Yeah. I think
Oh
is that
wait,
I think
that
that's
looks
supposed
like
to be
it's Thundercracker.
no,
Oh,
no, no,
that
over
is
on
Thundercracker. Yeah.
But I think it's supposed to be
Wait.
Jetfire having
wait,
the
no, no, no,
cargo
no.
No.
Hold
still.
on.
No.
No.
No. No. No.
Jetfire
Go
over
ahead.
Prime. Jetfire's over Prime.
Yeah.
Thundercracker is
He's.
to the left of
No, I know, but
RC.
like look at the
Yeah.
jet, the way it's drawn, that's definitely the
I think it's
Seeker's
Air
jet.
Raid. I think it's Air Raid because Air Raid has that alt mode, but it's the block underneath him that
That's what
gives him
I
away
think that's
as
supposed to
an.
be Jetfire, but for some reason they drew Jetfire as Thundercracker's alt mode because
Well,
that's
Jetfire is like, uh, boy, this is I don't know
Yeah,
if
I know.
this
Yeah.
is real good pod listening, I'm sure. But Jetfire is like right. He's coming off of the left shoulder of Optimus. It'd be our right when we're looking at it, but you can see him behind there. He's miscolored as the Arc, which is kind
Oh
of funny.
wait, you're
Yeah.
right. What?
Because
Okay, then
it's what he was carrying in issue
right.
9, like that when they were like in the cargo hold because they
Yeah,
needed something.
okay. But okay, regardless though, that's clearly what oh man, I don't know
But maybe
my
he's that's still part of that's is that part of his like nah, I
that's
don't think he's
clearly
like part of
and
it anymore. Like
okay, wait. I think Moon, you actually are correct because I think Air Raid is supposed to be an F-15 Eagle,
Yeah,
and that's the Seekers as
yeah,
well. So I think you're
yeah,
right. I think that is Air Raid.
yeah. Yeah,
But
I think
yeah, he's colored like
the box
Jetfire.
underneath,
Yeah,
he's
what?
colored like Jetfire carrying the cargo hold thing that they attached to him after they
Yeah,
revived him.
attached
that's
to his husk.
where's
Yes,
Blaster? Is he just a little tiny boombox? Someone picks him up.
he's
He's inside that.
he's in one of the cars. Yeah,
Yeah.
Maybe he's in the cargo hold and the Jetfire is
Oh, good point.
yes,
Yeah.
yes. But yes, coloring errors aside, very cool nostalgic little part. Right before Optimus can do the thing, before he can say the thing that he always says.
yeah.
Yeah, he's like, hmm.
Something's off.
Yeah. And he notices that Trailbreaker is missing, and he says that he was on watch and he thought that he'd come back in. To which RC replies, dot, dot, dot.
You're like, oh crap. Oh crap.
Maybe they should have. They shouldn't have done this. I'm obviously joking, but maybe they should have done what you suggested earlier, Carl, with that other section and have the dot 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 like carry over onto the next page, um,
Yeah.
where
Yeah.
we pick up in. I'm assuming this is like the same like forest that like every like hero goes to in this series to like see the deer and be in awe of Earth's majesty. Um, it feels like the same place that they keep returning to.
It's like the Thundercracker Optimus,
Yeah,
scene when they're talking. Yeah, but I mean, it is
yeah,
it's surrounding. There is like an establishing. Like later on, we do see the arc like embedded into the mountain over the one
yeah,
panel. So
yeah.
it
No,
is
that's
like
true.
it's super close, but
Right.
yeah, it's still wandering.
And Trailbreaker comes to the conclusion that everybody does when they walk through this area. They're just like, wow, this is beautiful. Earth rocks. He feels like it's worth saving. Optimus is right. All that stuff. Bad things also happen here. Really bad things happen to Trailbreaker when we
It's a little
turn the
headache.
page. And going back to the violence in this issue, holy cow, you guys. This is like IDW levels of violence with like his eyeball like
Yeah.
popping out. Megatron appears out of nowhere and just, oh man, he just crushes Trailbreaker's skull in a
This
very
hurt.
extreme close up.
Yeah.
Um,
It is
uh,
an amazing page.
it's yeah, yeah.
Uh,
It's an incredible page. Seriously, man, like I love Trailbreaker, and it's like, okay, cool. He just either doesn't get anything to do or he dies. That's fun. Like,
yeah.
he met a pretty horrible end in IDW 1 as well. Spoiler alert. Um, a very gruesome end. Uh, but not quite to the same level here. Megatron's not done with just crushing Trailbreaker's skull. He tells the Decepticons to watch and learn, and then he rips him not in half, but he does rip him into two pieces. And he's just like splattered with energon. He says, "This is how we deal with Autobots." And we get the shot of the Decepticons. Everybody's kind of looking on, a little stoically, maybe a little perturbed, except for Skywarp, who is really like
Giddy.
way too into this, I would
It's like,
say.
all right,
Um,
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like
This is how we did it back in K-On! Yeah.
yeah.
the meme of uh or the gif of Jack Nicholson. It's like, yeah,
Yep.
yeah. Like
Yep.
like his head nodding. That's
From The Departed. Yeah.
yeah, that's what this is.
Yeah. He
Just
begins
say
to
it.
drink Trailbreaker's spark. He begins to eat Trailbreaker. You guys, like
Yeah.
he says, "I drain your spark and bestow upon you a permanent death." And it's all in bold, big red letters as he uh, just has Trailbreaker oozing off of his chin. And that
Somehow
is
the
the
most
end.
egregious thing here is glug glug glug. Like that's
Yeah.
all of this. Like that is
Yeah.
like you're like,
It's like,
oh
oh
my
man,
god,
he's just chugging. He's just chugging Trailbreaker.
oh, this is so good. Oh guys, you gotta have some of this.
Yeah, no, Megatron does not share.
Yeah, no. Oh my god.
uh,
Yeah.
okay, well, I mean, who wants to start with this? Because this is a wow. This is a humdinger.
Yeah. Swizz, do you wanna tackle this or
Nah, man, this is all you.
all right? So
Like,
like there's a couple things here. Like I freaking Trailbreaker, man, like I wanted him to do more in this book. Like I like
yeah.
Trailbreaker too. Like I think it's like this bit of like I've come to appreciate Trailbreaker more over the years than I did when I was a kid. Cause like now, like you look at like his alt mode, and you're just like, that's just so 80s. Like I just love that guy. Like so, and to see him introduced the way he was, like he was like very upbeat and hopeful, and the way he like rescued those kids when he was introduced into the book, you're like, oh yeah, Trailbreaker's here. Like it was like this big moment, and like that's pretty much all he did. I mean, he threw up the force field a couple times when he was like protecting humans, and so he was just did not have much to do in this book, and that's upsetting. I mean, I feel like I understand that Kirkman wanted a shock death. I understand that, like, I have a buddy who also is on a podcast. They were talking about how it would have made more sense for this to be Beachcomber, which I immediately was like, shut your mouth. But there's that to that point, like that kind of it would make sense. I would hate it, but like um because Beachcomber has done more, we are more attached to Beachcomber. We would feel it more. Like this feels so entirely senseless, but it also doesn't necessarily have the impact that it could in a story because Trailbreaker hasn't done much. Um, but I'm glad it's not Beachcomber, and I'm glad they didn't go that route, especially with like the fake out that Beachcomber in issue 23, where like you thought Beachcomber was taken out. So I think it's a bit much to take him out in issue 23, bring him back in 24, and then like have him die here. But I don't know, and it almost had to be Trailbreaker, to be honest with you, though, which I don't like. But like it wasn't going to be any of the characters that Kirkman just brought back because they're all like 86 movie characters, and for the most part. Uh, and like, who else could you like? You can't really take out Jazz, Wheeljack, Braun. You just brought back. I don't know. Like, and it wouldn't mean as much if you take out like Blaster or Sideswipe. So it does have impact. It's just I don't know that we needed it here. Like what does this ultimately accomplish other than we know Megatron is ruthless. Like I don't know. It is shocking, but like does it serve the story as well as it could have? And I think that's where I think it's a bit of a missed opportunity. So it's brutal. The art looks amazing. This was like the first time, not maybe not the, yeah, kind of like the first time where I was really more. It's like this issue, like there was that Arcee splash page when she's on her like vision quest, and then this stuff. This really feels like the series that we've been reading. It's brutal, but it feels like more in line with some of the action that we've gotten to this point. So I really like this sequence the way it looks. I mean, that's not. I haven't even touched on the fact that like, what the hell is Megatron doing? Like, why? Like, this is so out of character, and it makes me think back to what you said earlier, Swizz. Like, this has to be com- somehow with like the influence of like the uh, like Desimir and like all that stuff. Like, it has to be like why? Because it just doesn't feel like Megatron to me, and this seems like a move of desperation, like with the way he like devours. I mean, when he just freaking eats Trailbreaker. I'm so conflicted. I think it looks great, but I don't like it. I don't like this move for Megatron. Whatever the story is that they're telling, the big picture Megatron stuff, let's get to it. Let's figure out what it is, and then I can like fully judge these actions. But like as it stands right now, I don't like this take on Megatron. So
I've done a 180. Like when I first read this and I was like, "Oh my god, this is crazy. This like Megatron's insane." And the more I sat with it, I was like, you know, I was a huge like supporter for this Megatron for this story and I still am. But like, dude, like I don't think any version of the character would like I feel like it goes against everything he's ever stood for, as crazy as that sounds. Like, yeah, he's a bad guy. He's evil. But like at the end of the day, he wants Cybertron to be restored. He wants Cybertronians, to be under his rule of thumb. Eating your own kind is just not something. Now, if this was like, some other Decepticons, like a rogue Decepticon faction doing this, oh, sure, okay. Times are rough, But like, um, this is I agree. This was a shock factor. This was like, oh snap, thing like Megatron, that type of thing. I'm not a fan of it. I'm just gonna stop being around the bush. I don't like it. I'm not a fan of it. Trailbreaker to me was a character I never really cared for until he was introduced in this story. I grew to this character and seeing him go and I knew he like something bad was gonna happen to him just with like, when I was
where's
just like, oh
Trailbreaker?
yeah,
Yeah,
where's Trailbreaker, guys? And
yeah.
like I remember reading it to him like, wait, where's Trailbreaker? And then I saw them like I'm like, oh, okay, like here we go. Like that's
They
like I
just
was literally like, all right, let's get this over. And then when I saw what I was like, oh my god. And then yeah. So I think it's very artistically beautiful. Not beautiful, but like amazing with the art and just
yeah.
seeing it like wow. I don't like this at all. Like I'm not and my cope literally my cope is like that's not Megatron. Like he's not all there in the head. Like it's got to be something with Desimir or the fact that like the dark spark or whatever it's called like he's because like these guys have been low on energon for a while. So like they're running on fumes. And
Yeah.
like I'd like to imagine that Megatron's kind of just a black hole for it. Like I'd imagine the dark spark, whatever you want to call it, consumes a lot of energon. It consumes a lot and he needs a lot of energy. So I just think he's not all there right now. Not very sane, but regardless, whatever the reason may be, I'm not a fan of it. I don't like it. Rest in peace, Trailbreaker. I think this was totally unnecessary.
Yeah, it was. I think it was a wasted a wasted character for Trailbreaker. But it does, and looking at it now, right again, I think like when he's crushing his skull, it looks like there's well, I don't know. Like when does Megatron get repaired? Like does he get repaired from like the Energon cube that they because like the issue begins and he's still got like the gash from Shredhead in his like shoulder chest area, and then I guess Skywarp brings him the Energon cube, and that's when he heals up, right? Because then when he shows up at the end of the issue, he's healed up. So, all right, because yeah, I was thinking like at first I was like, oh, does he get healed up while drinking Trailbreaker? But no, that's not even. It doesn't even do that. Like it doesn't even like. It's not like the consuming of Trailbreaker is what gave him like back to full strength. He was already at full strength with the synthetic energon they had, so doesn't even do that. Yeah, I don't know, like, and his eyes are red in this whole sequence. There's no hint of purple in his eyes, so
Yep.
I don't know if that might discredit the theory that there's something going on with like.
please,
Right, I'm
please,
just
Carl, I need
I
this, please.
dude, I want you to be right. I really do, because that's the only thing that right now would make sense. And again, it's a big ask for Kirkman to be like, just trust us. There's the story we're telling with Megatron, and again, I may look back at this in 6 months or a year or whatever, and be like, oh yeah, that was a great Megatron arc. But like as it stands, where we are right now, I'm like, nope, not a fan. I don't like this characterization of Megatron because I do think it's like you said. So it's like he does respect like Cybertronians. Like he doesn't like Autobots, but like would he just waste one like this? I don't know. I mean he stepped on Slingshot earlier. Like
Yep.
so and I don't know. Like it just the way this is done, I don't know. I don't like it. I guess I'd be okay with like the death, but like the eating of him is like
right.
what really kind of
I'm
like I
I'm
don't
somewhat
know.
okay
Like,
on Trailbreaker being killed off, but like, dude, why? Like the way you go about it, why?
yeah. Like what does it truly do for the story? We already knew that Megatron is like kind of ruthless in many regards. So like does this prove anything? Does this change anything? Like I don't know. Like
I mean, it changes it for me a little bit because it's like, yeah, he's ruthless and he's dangerous, but also, uh, he's sick, and like
well,
just
I mean,
really messed up.
that aspect of it for sure. It's the drinking and eating of Trailbreaker changes things for me for the character. I just mean like the Trailbreaker death, like taking an Autobot or a character
Oh,
out
I
here.
see. Yeah.
What does that necessarily do? Because we already know that Megatron is ruthless, but maybe that's the point. Like it's just to point to show that Megatron is a step beyond what we know him to be or have known him to be. So yeah.
Yeah.
And in that regard, yeah, that changes everything.
Yeah. I agree with a lot of the things that you guys have said. I echo a lot of the things that you guys have said. Like I do think that this whole sequence is like kind of the big like set piece moments. The crushing of the skull, ripping Trailbreaker apart, and then the final shot. Like it's all rendered beautifully and like some top notch color work again by Spicer. Very strong, like visual storytelling all around. And as for the whole thing itself, I'm torn.
Yeah.
Um, but
And a
like I
bit crushed.
definitely, yes, I am a bit crushed. Yes, I do think that I would have liked to have gotten more with Trailbreaker. I'm always left wanting more with Trailbreaker. Even in IDW, when he had his own spotlight issue, I was like, that's not enough. Didn't get enough Trailbreaker before they killed him off. And I
He's a
feel,
valuable character, man. He's so underrated. He's got the force field. Like
Yeah.
well,
so
Swizz, who
frustrating.
they just revived and who did not canonically have a force field, but was shown to have one in this series on Cybertron, is Huffer, and he's back
Oh my
now, so they don't
God.
need Trailbreaker anymore. So
Is this what you want to do, Moon? You want to spend the last part of the episode talking about this? Come on, let's talk about
no, no,
it.
no,
Let's
no,
And
I
this
don't,
is the
I
part
don't,
where we
I
poke
actually,
the bear.
I don't think that I feel as strongly as you guys do about disliking the choice to have Megatron eat Trailbreaker. I do agree that it just feels a little out of step with what we've seen so far. Granted, we haven't seen that much with Megatron, but I feel like we've seen enough to kind of be like, whoa, this feels like something kind of out of left field. That being said, I don't hate it. I am definitely willing to see where this goes. I was shocked by it. I don't know that I was shocked by it in a good way. Like, I think I'm still, I need to see where this goes further before I either am like, yeah, I'm okay with this, or I don't like this. I don't like this turn for Megatron. I just kind of need to see more. Need to see more of like what the plan is. I'm not opposed to it at this point in the game.
As long as like Kirkman said in the letters column that there is this story that the planned story for Megatron. Like, okay, you got me. I'm curious to see what that is, and I agree. Like it is. I don't like it in this moment, but I'm intrigued to see what this story is, and that's I mean, reading a comic book. That's what you want. You want somebody to, when they finish a book, be like, what is that all about? And it that does that well here. So,
Yeah,
um,
for sure.
yeah, I mean, he knows what he's doing. I'm not gonna say that oh, he's an amateur. Oh, and that's not the case at all. Like Kirkman knows what he's doing, and I don't have to like it, but I'm interested.
It does raise a lot of questions, though. Like earlier, like it raises similar questions as to when like Megatron kind of went into that berserker state where it's just like,
Yeah.
is this the first time that he's done this? Or is this a new thing that he just decided to, the new party trick that he decided to whip out? And I will say that even though we might not have seen this type of behavior from Megatron, and we certainly haven't seen anything this extreme. We've kind of seen like pretty extreme, harsh behavior from like some of the other Decepticons. Skywarp, I think, is case in point. When when Soundwave and Starscream cannibalized him for parts. Now, I'm definitely not saying it's anywhere close to being on the same level as Glug Glug Glug, but um, I'm definitely just saying it's like, these ruthless bad guys are being led by somebody who is probably just as ruthless and is just as bad of a guy. So, I just need to see where it's going, but it's not like a
Yeah.
huge stretch for me to think that Megatron could be capable of something like this. Also, I'd be remiss in not bringing up Megatron's teeth or Trailbreaker's teeth for that matter. There's so
Yeah.
much, you know,
Oh,
like
yeah.
Megatron looks kind of like maybe too humanoid in some of, like he almost looks like a guy wearing a Megatron costume. Like
Oh, great. I can't unsee that now. Okay.
Yeah.
Seems like the Autobots got a good dental plan again, though. I mean, Trailbreaker's got good
yeah,
teeth.
tongue. He's got a tongue as well.
I think they have General Flag to thank. Energon.
Oh
All it
yeah,
took.
yeah.
Yeah.
Energon fixed up the. Well,
That
maybe
that's
that's
probably a
why.
crazy thing.
That's
Megatron's drinking this guy, dude. He's getting that nice, pure, raw, fresh Energon from General Flag.
see. I
Yeah.
was
Yeah.
thinking maybe that's why the Decepticons have such bad teeth. Is that no, wait, it's the Decepticons that have the dental plan. We've
Yeah,
got
it
this
was the
backwards.
Autobots for yeah.
Yeah,
That's what I'm saying.
yeah.
Like the Autobots must have got a good dental plan from General Flag.
I mean, maybe we're seeing the Decepticon dental plan in action here. Um,
Yeah,
this is
good
like,
point.
you know, like intense, like fluoride injections or something for their teeth. I don't know. Let's move on to our wrap up here.
Yeah.
Let's uh, let's get into our final thoughts and our final scoring, our numerical verdict for issue 28. Swizz, do you want to kick things off?
I'm trying to think of because I'm trying to remember what did I rate the last issue?
A
I gave
5.
it
That
like
was
a 5. Okay, I gave it a 5.
Yeah.
This was a step above that for sure. I feel like the last issue was probably the worst or weakest issue of the series. I would give this a nice solid 7. I enjoyed it. There's a couple of things I disliked. That's what I was, like, trying to say, like, yeah, like, I got a problem with, the Miles Mayhem stuff, the obligatory Spike and Carly. I didn't like, you know I not like, I just don't agree with Megatron doing what he did, but I still did enjoy this issue. Like, I was like I jumped out of my seat with the whole RC Magnus stuff because I was like, "Yes, finally, like, an original design for these characters." Sucks that Trailbreaker is gone now, and I guess he's gone for good because Megatron's like, "Permanent death, bud.
That
Sorry. That
that's permanent.
it's been patched. Your method of being, brought back, it's patched now, bud. I'm just gonna drain your spark and eat it." So yeah, I did enjoy this though. I would give this a nice 7 out of 10. I don't think it should be anything above a 7 or a 7.5. Just right teetering right at a 7. Solid 7 for me.
Yeah, I was kinda thinking what did I give the last issue? Because I feel like I I don't know, I'm gonna say I gave the last issue, like, an 8. I know I was, like, higher than you guys, but,
I
like,
don't think you gave it an
not
8. I
it
think you
wasn't
gave it
that
like
high,
a
right? Like
7 or a
yeah,
7.5,
I don't think it was
Yeah.
I know I went higher than you guys, but I don't remember what I landed on, but, like
I think me and Swizz did 5, Delta did a 6, and you did like a 7
That's
or a
right. Yep.
7.5, I think.
that sounds about right. Because for me, like, because I was thinking, like, I think this is an 8 for me. In again, framework of where we're at in the I this was the strongest issue of the Kirkman era thus far for me. I was intrigued by what's going on. A lot of concepts that were introduced that I think are cool. I like the RC thing is great. I love that we're going in a new direction with that. I like whatever this setup with Megatron is, even though I don't agree with some of the actions or it's like not my Megatron, but like it doesn't have to be. It doesn't have to be like my idealized version of Megatron for me to be interested in what's going on. And that's again like what I don't necessarily want um everything that I've known this character to be. Otherwise, why is it interesting? Again, not that I would necessarily go in certain directions, but I'm interested, I'm intrigued, I'm on board, so I want to see where it goes, which mission accomplished, Kirkman. So, yeah, I overall I like a lot of the stuff that's in here. I like the mask stuff. I don't I'm not going to I like how that this is playing into the Energon universe and if you just view this as a Transformers book, then yeah, I can see why like 4 pages of mask is maybe not your cup of tea. As a someone who's reading all the Energon universe stuff, I like how this fits in. I like how what it implies for where things are going. I like that. So yeah, I think this is a very solid issue. The art is I think the art is improved. I think Dan Mora is settling into the assignment. Even though it's only a 6 issue run, I think this is some of his strongest work yet in the book. So things don't feel like they don't. My biggest gripe with Dan Mora stuff is sometimes when they're just like standing around, it just feels like very very static. It looks beautiful, but it looks like just kind of like a figure that's posed there and drawn and looks pretty, but doesn't necessarily emote much for me. And I think there was certainly more emoting happening throughout this issue with the Transformers, and I like that. So yeah, pretty strong issue overall. So we're going 8.
Wait, Moon, before you give your rating, because 'cause you're the host,
Hmm.
Delta did give his rating. He gave it a 7 out of 10. He said, "Good improvements, but still a lot of work needs to be done. Why did Mayhem get more pages than RC's trial?" So, yeah.
Was
Yeah.
he listening in?
It's kinda
Nailed it.
crazy.
Yeah, yeah.
So, first off, I wanna say that I agree with Swizz in that I think that, issue 27 was the weakest issue of the entire series for me. It really just did not land, and, uh but then I also agree with Carl in that I do think that this is the best issue of the Kirkman run so far. This is a massive step up for me in terms of just my feeling of being engaged and interested and like excited to see where this is going. Um, I feel like part of the problems I had with issue 27 was that it was a rip the Band-Aid off issue. Like, I don't know why Kirkman decided to do it this way, because, I mean, it's going to be obvious from the first issue that it's a different creative team, you know? It's just writers are different. They're going to approach characters and plots differently. Like, that's just the way it's going to be. Um, but I feel like and even in, like, outside, like, during the promotional material and everything, it's just like, no, don't worry. I'm going to respect the DWJ run. Like, I'm going to, it'll be familiar. It'll be familiar. And it's like, no, it's not, and like, we know it's not going to be. Like, you're going to make it your own. And it's like, I feel like he like tried to not tried. I feel like this was a Kirkman thing that he did where it's like, no, you guys, don't worry. Like, I'm going to keep it pretty, close to like what you expected. It'll just be my own thing, but it's going to stay in that realm. And I feel like issue 27 was like ripping the Band-Aid off, whereas like, no, I'm actually not going to do that.
Yeah.
And I need to get the pieces in place for my status quo ASAP so that I can get going with my story. And I still feel like that was not handled in the most elegant fashion. This has come up consistently since we've been talking about the Kirkman issues where it's like, I'm not opposed to where this is going. I'm just not a fan of how it's getting there. And I feel like now I'm at a place where it's like, I don't love how we got here, but now that we are here, I'm in it and I'm invested. And, I also echo your sentiment, Carl, where I think that this is Mora's like strongest work on the issue. And I think it's really helped a lot by Spicer kind of just putting the pedal to the metal again like he used to. Like, this is the issue that feels the closest to the issues that we got previously, art wise. And I mean, that just increases my entertainment value, and it just makes it more fun for me, and I just have a lot more fun reading it. So yeah, like I think this is the best issue of the Kirkman run so far. I would give it an 8, but I foolishly already gave a previous issue, I think like 26, I gave that an 8. I'm not sure what I was thinking. So I could just retroactively bump that down to a 7, but I did really enjoy this. I'm going to give it an 8.5 because like I'm invested now. Like it's doing enough that's like I feel like I'm in it now. I wasn't before, but I am. And so it's like taken me to a different place in terms of how I'm feeling about the series. So, and deeper characterization, like I care about the mask stuff now. Like, yeah, overall, I think it was it was a success. So
just getting here was quite clunky, but I'm glad that we're here now.
Yes.
So, I'm going to point out when we started recording, Swizz was like, this will probably be a quick episode.
You never say that. You never
I
say
never
that.
say that, man.
You doomed us to. We did.
I
have
literally
some
said,
time,
like, the pacing's so fast. This issue is surely going to be a shorter episode.
We did stray off into different topics and whatnot, so it wasn't all about this issue.
True.
But yeah, we still had a lot to say.
It's true, but I mean, I had a blast talking about it. Hope you gentlemen did as well, and I hope everybody listening did as well. Thank you for tuning in and spending this time with us. And be sure to check out our individual channels. Those will be linked in the description. Depending on where you're watching this, the podcast is available YouTube, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts. Check that out.
Wherever a podcast can be found, you can find us.
Well, maybe not everywhere, but
maybe not everywhere,
mostly.
Because their podcasts are everywhere.
Right.
So
from me and from all of our hosts, thanks. And we will see you next month for issue 29. All right. Thanks, everybody.
Take care.
Later.